Hello, Kyler. How's it going?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Ready for some great League of Legends action?
I was super ready. I've got to get my stream child changed here, which is funny because I'm using like a guest stream key, so I'm trying to figure out how to do it as the mod.
Oh yeah, I've had some issues like that before. But it should be good. I'm just working on that name change for the stream. I can kind of kick us off real quick.
Sure thing.
Like. Yeah, well, I just want to say, hey everyone, welcome back to Return of the Middlesticks League of Legends. My name is Kyler Gish, and I'm joined by Lipo Lane. We're going to be covering the Aegis Challengers League between Return of the Middlesticks Premier and its St. Clair Saints is the enemy team today. But first, Lane, I wanted to talk with you about some really exciting news that I saw recently. I've just kind of been pulled into this, but it's actually super exciting news that I think it's only right if you share as one of the founding members of Return of the Middlesticks. This is extremely exciting for Return of the Middlesticks League of Legends. They're in a certain league that some people might know.
That's right. We are going to be competing in the North American Challengers League, or NACL, this weekend. RotM Premier is going to be competing there. Yeah, first round is going to be a Swiss round. So we play both Saturday and Sunday at noon Central Time. We get 5 best of 5s. You play, or 5 best of 1s. You play people with a similar record to yourself, and we will be in the. Well, we were ranked 30th overall, so we will be playing Cinderella Story the entire tournament. But the guys are really hyped about it, and I'm excited to play underdog.
It's going to be super fun. I saw some of the rankings, some of the people voting. You were up high in some of the rankings, actually. Some people had you as high as 20th place in this open qualifier. Some others had you lower than that. But yeah, 30th overall. It's gonna be a really fun tournament. But that's not to take away from the Aegis Challengers League, which we're in right now. If you were to give a kind of synopsis of last week, we came away 1-0 versus Des Moines Yellow. How would you describe last week and how that went?
Yeah, last week went really well. It was pretty dominant. 2-0. Definitely had some interesting games, but just really both teams picked really brawly team fight comps, and RotM came out ahead in both of them. So hoping they can repeat that again this week.
Yeah, I was doing a little bit of VOD reviewing to see exactly what we were working with, and yeah, they had kind of fighter in the top side, tank jungle for the most part, and then kind of control in the bottom half. We can see if they replicate that in this draft. We actually have a new jungler this week, if I'm not mistaken. Simon is coming in for 2004 Lexus.
Yes, that is true. We've got yeah, he's coming in. Lexus can't play for the NACL tournament this weekend because of his work, so Spezzy or Sexaver Simon, as you're going to see in the game, is going to be jumping in to play the jungle sub, and wanted to get some extra practice with him because he's new this week, and so thought he'd throw him in the ACL match here as well. Right,
and we're going to be hopping into draft here soon, but taking a look at the differences between Lexus and Sexhaver Simon, as you put it, it seems like he plays a lot more of the assassin jungle, so that might mix up how the team works together. Maybe a little bit even more scrappy than it was last week with that kind of control tank jungle play style that we saw.
Yeah, it's going to be definitely a big difference. Lexus really known for playing those kind of controlling ganking junglers. And yeah, Spezzy is going to be having a different approach. Definitely plays those assassins, but also plays some bruisers. So it's going to look to play more the carry role instead of the supportive team role. So it's been a style change this week, but so far so good in the couple scrims we've had.
I was ready to ask without giving too much away, because obviously you don't want to give away the trade secrets. But how has this season gone, even with like the evolution of getting accepted into the open qualifier? has that kind of intensified the team's practice, kind of made them hone in a little bit on what they want to accomplish this season?
Oh, definitely, yeah. I mean, we've been performing pretty well in scrims. I think the guys are really clicking, and ever since we didn't make the first qualifier, the guys have been really excited to kind of prove themselves in the second qualifier. So we've got a tough matchup in our first game on Saturday, and yeah, we're just really excited to get to show what this team can do.
I think we can just be happy that we're not having to face Maryville University.
Yes, we didn't hit the 32 seeds, so we don't have to hit that. So
right,
I'm very excited.
It's gonna be really fun.
As we wait for draft here a little bit, I'm gonna try to figure out how to switch the stream title up a little bit while I read through some docs. So.
Yep, and it seems like we're just waiting on a couple more players to get into the lobby to start the draft. We're going to be doing it through Draftable rather than Incline, I believe, from the links that we got. So we'll be taking a look at that. Another player that I really wanted to highlight after reviewing last game's weeks was Hoarder. Hoarder's been having an amazing couple of games, at least these last two that they played versus Des Moines Yellow. He absolutely popped off on Jason. He had a hell of a performance on Aatrox, just bowling the enemy top laner. He's been doing really good, but also just the core of Max and Caspian on those carry roles has also been performing. So we will see how they do this week. Again, we are 1-0. Return of the Middle Six is 1-0. And St. Clair Saints, I believe, is 0-1. So we're coming into this with a little bit of an advantage. They have the underdog tag on them.
Yeah.
If you were to have you seen anything from St. Clair Saints? I don't know if you were able to watch any of their games at all.
Yeah, I haven't watched any of their games, but they are another NACL team, so it's gonna be kind of fun to kind of see another team in action before we actually get into NACL tomorrow. I will say they do have a couple subs that they're playing with today, so that might change things a bit, but we've got a really exciting matchup here tonight that I'm excited to share with you.
Right. One other thing that I wanted to cover was how exactly this bot lane has been gelling. Caspian and Coinflip, have they been playing together very long? It seems like they're doing really well in lane, kind of a stable point for the team, as at least last week Lexus was playing around top side, making sure that we get that top side ahead. That Caspian Coinflip duo has been really solid in the bot lane. Has that been consistent, or how long have they been together playing this duo?
Not super long. We actually replaced our sub from when we tried for NACL last time, and so our sub from our NACL roster last time, and so he's been playing with us now for about a little over 2 weeks, probably closer to 3, and so still pretty fresh, but has performed really well, and has really fit into the team well. Has a really big voice on the team, so which is always great to hear from that guy.
I was ready to say, you love to hear the shot calling from the support. It's a great role to fill. It seems like we might be getting in a draft here. Looks like we have everybody that we need in the lobby, and yes, we are. To give a quick update, we have Return of the Middle Six on the red side, and they have banned Maokai and Sejuani, and St. Clair Saints is on the blue side with the Talon and Master Yi, and they're hovering Annie right now. That Talon and Master Yi are the two picks that I was looking at for Sex Haver Simon this week. Those are his two most played in solo queues, so they're really targeting out the jungle.
Yeah, things kicking off. I'm decided to give up on the title, but we will fix that later. Yeah, so already so far, we've got the bans coming through. It's interesting. Let me flip the sides here. Perfect. Everybody's gonna have to bear with me with the stream. Maris usually our commander's not here tonight. He's at a hockey game, so I am the one running the stream. So you can blame all the scuffness on me, but
the scuffness is what makes it home.
Yeah, it is interesting. So Svezi coming in, the Talon and Yi taken off the table. He's got like almost 200 games on both those champions and not a lot on the others. So from a scouting perspective, definitely makes sense to go with those. But he definitely has other champs he can play on. So far, picks coming through for St. Clair. That Gragas pick can be flexed a lot of places. So it's really nice to be able to pick with that first pick because you don't give anything away in doing that pick.
Right. A lot of the Gragas will either go top or jungle. We have seen a lot of mid Gragas actually in the LCS, so that's another thing to watch out for if the matchup is given correctly. As Return of the Middle Sticks picks up Varus and Wukong, that Wukong surely going jungle, Varus most likely AD. As we kind of show our hand there, now it's blue side. Now it's St. Clair's time to respond. I would assume that they would pick up an AD here, maybe slam a support as well, as they do get the Xayah Rakan just locked in right away.
Yeah, Xayah has been such a menace. It's been a really high pick priority for a lot of teams, and especially because you can pair it with that Rakan. As some of the like 2v2 duos have started to get nerfed, like the strong things like Lulu Zeri and Lucian Nami, Xayah Rakan has kind of popped into that strong duo, and RTM looks like they're going to respond with the Thresh here.
It's very interesting. A lot of coin flips past games have been with that Lulu Kog'Maw, that Lulu Zeri, so opting for a more engagey support there. It's actually a really good pick into Rakan. You can flay away his W, his engage, and you can really stop him in his tracks at that point, as well as put down the box and make sure that he can't engage very quickly, as it looks like Return of the Middle Sticks is going to target out some of these top bans. They're assuming that Gragas is going to go jungle.
Yeah, definitely looking that way, and you may end up forcing it into the jungle with some of the bans that you're doing here, but wanting to take the Kled away, always a lane menace, and don't want to. My guess is with the top lane bans that they're gonna do here, RTM will probably look to pick their top laner in this R4 slot. But we'll see what else comes through for RTM on their bans.
Yeah, as St. Clair bans away some of these mid laners, Max, I've seen him. He's been more of a control player recently. The Talia's really played in solo queue. The Victor's really played in solo queue. Played Syndra last week. As they target that on St. Clair's side, and yeah, that is another top lane ban. So I'm assuming it's going to be an R4 pick for Return of the Middle Sticks top lane, as Hoarder can pick between any of his. It seems like he has a champion ocean of fighters up there, whether it's the Jax, the Cassante, the Jace. He even pulled out Aatrox last week, so it seems like he's got a plethora of picks that he can decide upon.
Yeah, he's got quite a few things. Very deep pool. Likes to opt usually for more of those control mages, like you said, the Azirs. But they take out Talia, they take out Victor, but Syndra still on the table, and definitely one of Max's comfort picks.
Yep, performed great on that game 2 last week versus Des Moines Yellow, as they save Hoarder a counter pick in top lane, which is, as a top laner myself, the best lane to counter pick.
Yes, that's for sure.
St. Clair gets to decide what they want to do, picking into Syndra and then blind picking top lane, assuming that Gragas is going jungle. They still might be able to flex it around a little bit, but we'll figure it out here. Oh, they are. Look at that.
Yeah, Lilia going to come through. And I actually really like this pick from St. Clair Saints. Wukong, because of his passive, does really, really well into AD jungles. And so picking an AP jungle, you don't have as much skirmish power as you normally would. And so this Lilia pickup, I really like it so far. It's going to be really hard to land skill shots of the Varus, the Thresh, and the Syndra onto that champ.
Right. We might actually be seeing the Gragas mid, like I pointed out earlier, into the Syndra. as Olaf, I assume, is going top. They could flex around a whole bunch actually still here. Lilia could go top. We've seen that a little bit before. Most likely going to be jungle. As Hoarder is deciding what he's going to go here as a likely counter pick into the Olaf. It's going to be a Jace, as he had played Jace in game 2, one of his most played in solo queue, very comfortable in that champion. You can always knock away the Olaf with your melee E before he gets his R, so he can't really get on top of you, but you got to make sure that you dodge those axes because you are a squishy range top laner for the most part.
Yeah, if he pokes you out those axes, it can definitely get pretty worrying, but this is one of Hoarder's comfort picks. Really likes to play these aggressive, high damage top laners, and does really well on them. So with the drafts locked in here, really excited for what we're already seeing. I think both teams really came out with some really decent drafts. There's not really one I think is quite ahead of the other. I think both teams really have their opportunities in this game. St. Clair might have maybe the more easy to execute comp, but
I was going to say, I think that Return of the Middle Sticks is going to have to play very smart around objectives. They have that poke option with the Syndra, the Jace, and the Varus, as well as those engage options. However, if something doesn't go wrong, one of your engagers gets picked beforehand, say the Wukong gets picked off on a flank, it'll be a lot harder to fight in those river fights, in those objective fights. Whereas on St. Clair Saint's side, they have that easy engage on Rakan. It's mostly point and click with the R. And then you just have a snowball of follow-up with the Gragas, with the Olaf, where they just have to run at them. So we'll see if ease of execution comes down to those objective fights, and we'll see who's able to take it, who's able to get the setup beforehand to make sure that they're able to secure those objectives. Because that's kind of been the name of the game, especially recently with the power of the dragons, with the power of the heralds. We can see how each team plays around those objectives.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a very brawly game. The objectives are going to be where this game is won and lost for sure. Both teams wanting to play these team fight comps, and so I think for RotM, they do have some options to. I finally got the stream title done. Let's go.
We got the stream title updated. We did it, Reddit.
We did it. All right. But yeah, what I was saying is RotM, the way they're going to want to play fights is let this Jace and Varus kind of poke out. They also have the option, if Jace gets enough of a lead in the side lane, to have that split push threat. But yeah, this Olaf is going to be really hard to deal with for the carries of RotM, just because he has that invulnerability, can get on the back line super easy, and it's hard to protect your carries through that guy.
Right, yeah, and if you see a lot of it is going to be peel from the Wukong, knocking people up, and the Thresh trying to peel the Varus. It's going to be really interesting what Caspian decides to do. He has multiple options when it comes to the Varus in this game. You can either assume that you're going to be auto-attacking a lot at their front line, say the Gragas, the Lilia, the Olaf, and try to go for that lethal tempo build that so many people are loving, or you can opt into the safer, more consistent kind of you're guaranteed to have damage poke build, and then play around kind of the outside of that fight in those river fights around the Drake and around the Herald and Baron Pit. So I'm excited to see what he decides to do with this, because there's a lot of options that he can go in.
Yeah, the best part of the game here is always just waiting through the second half of doing the draft a second time. So yeah, we're gonna have a lot of time here to talk about these comps. And well, I was gonna ask you, Kyler, what you've been up to. It's been a while since we've got the chat.
It has. So I've been playing a little bit of League of Legends, right? Not as much as I used to, right? Back when we were on the K-State B team in college.
That's right.
But yeah, so I've been enjoying work. I'm a full-time software developer right now.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah, so I've been doing that. That's taken up a lot of my time. Playing League of Legends here and there, watching a lot of League of Legends actually, as well as playing some other miscellaneous games.
That's great.
hanging out with a whole bunch of people, and just trying to live life to its fullest.
That's awesome to hear. Yeah, I'm so glad that you're able to join me tonight. Yeah, Mara's stepping out. We've been hurting for some play-by-play guys, and you came off the dome, and I was glad that you jumped up to take the opportunity. So I really appreciate you joining me tonight. It should be a good one.
Yeah, anytime. I'm happy to be here. I actually just got a new mic. It's pretty cool. My old one just broke, so luckily I just got a new mic to cast. I'm available if you guys need a play-by-play caster, and we can let the chat judge. We can let the chat judge.
Yes.
If I'm able to come on every once in a while tonight. We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
It'll be a live interview for RotM. So.
Correct. I had a couple more questions about the open qualifier.
Sure.
So how did the process? How did like the application process go? Was it any different from the first time? What exact like information do you need to fill out, and what are they looking for when they're accepting teams into this open qualifier?
Yeah. So for people that don't know, the way that they do the open qualifier is anybody can apply. You can apply with any team, but they have a selection committee. The 32 teams make it in. The top 24 get in just by their solo queue rank. You get a certain amount of points for each, like 10 points for challenger player, 5 points for a GM player, and 1 point for master player. Anything else gets 0. And the teams with the most points, the top 24 teams, automatically get in. And then the bottom 8 teams, or the last 8 teams, are voted in by a selection committee. And then after that, after everybody, after the field's set, they've got the 32 teams. Then the selection committee goes through and they actually rank all the teams. And that's how you get your seed. So this time around, last time around, we were the 33rd team. We were a couple votes shy of making it in. This time around, we had ended up with 2 challenger players and 3 GM players on our roster, so we actually made it in by rank, didn't have to wait around. And I think that most of that was due to the motivation of the guys wanting to make it in after getting snubbed the last time. So
wow.
Shout out to their hard work, and glad that they secured their place in playing this time around.
That is awesome. I did not know that you were able to guarantee it based off of rank. But so what I'm hearing is, if I'm Platinum 4, right? And I'm looking.
Get 4 challenger players.
Yeah.
Then you could join in. That's how it works.
That's exactly right. Oh, that's awesome to hear. Make sure you guys tune in. First games are starting tomorrow, correct?
Yep, at noon Central. So
tomorrow and Sunday are going to be matches for the open qualifier. But again, this is the Aegis Challenger League. Now, remind me again, for the Aegis Challenger League, this is an in-bracket game, correct? So this is a very important game compared to last week's game versus the one yellow.
No, this is actually another cross-conference game, so it doesn't matter quite as much. We have 2 back-to-back cross-conference ones. And again, this matters for like overall record. If you don't finish top 2 in your group, that's how they'll decide the last couple teams that make it into playoffs. But still a really nice matchup to have, because we're playing against another NACL team. So get another night of practice with our jungle in, and that's always nice to have.
That's awesome. I had a little bit of trouble finding the actual schedule for Aegis, so I'm glad that you clarified it's another cross conference game.
Yeah, no worries.
So conference games start next week on Friday for Aegis Challengers.
That's right, and then we'll play one more in the middle of the season, but yeah.
Okay, that is awesome. That's going to be really good to tune into. Is that still 7 p.m. Central next Friday?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. As we are loading into game here, we have the classic black screen as we wait for Riot Games to fix their servers.
Yeah, my guess is somebody probably paused, which is why we're right at the start of the game. That's usually how these things go. Is if we get a black screen that starts, somebody paused. So as we wait for the bio break, we're gonna be, have a little more time to talk here. But
Yeah, if you were to pinpoint one lane that you really need to watch out for, I think we were talking about that top lane.
Yeah.
How does ROTM need to play around that? How does jungle need to path to try to prevent any sort of snowball from happening on this flashless Olaf?
Yeah, I really want to see RTM path towards top side, especially because he has no flash. But more importantly, you have to get this Jace going. If Olaf gets a lead in this lane, um, he'll be able to run over Jace just if he starts landing these axes. So especially as we move into that post 6 era of the Olaf Jace matchup. That's where Olaf is going to have a lot of power. So you want to get this Jace going early so he can kind of contend more. I mean, I think both junglers are probably going to path top here. I would expect Wukong maybe slightly stronger here in the early game because Lily is going to look to kind of full clear, but both these champions really wanting to hit 6 before they're looking to do a lot of their dirty work.
Right, that's when they unlock their utility. And taking a look at some of the runes here, we did get Halo Blades for Caspian, so going more of that on hit, not necessarily lethal tempo, but a little boom, boom, boom action to try to get off a quick trade, try to pop that W, try to pop that Q, get as much damage in a bursty mode as possible with that Halo Blades. And the first strike Syndra from Max trying to get that extra damage right off the bat, which should be actually fairly easy to proc versus a melee champion in Gragas in the mid lane. You just have to make sure you dodge the Gragas cask or barrel first.
Yeah, and I'm interested to see what Caspian decides to go for build here. I mean, you've got a lot of options as Varus. You can go AP, you can go as lethality, you can go on hit. And so I don't expect him to go AP in this game, but between the lethality and the on hit builds, I think there's a little bit of an argument for each. Especially with an Olaf running you down, potentially you might want to clutch to that shield bow to give yourself a little extra time, but we'll see what the build he decides to go with.
Right, and we put a lot of attention on this Olaf, but it can be said that Olaf does do a little bit of falling off past around level 11. So if this game does go long, then it's really going to be on some of the other carries to really pick up the pace.
Oh, it looks like if you click in your bar, it finally unlocks it for me. So we're a little bit ahead.
I just saw that. I just saw that.
No worries. I was also trying to figure it out. The classic Riot black screen it got us again. So we're a little bit into game here to start off, but
right as we talk about that trade on the top side, the Olaf W coming up with the shield as a big trade goes down. Hoarder seems to be actually doing really well in the matchup. If we take a look at jungle pathing, it looks like Lily has started bottom side and is full clearing towards top. Similar story for Sex Haver Simon, but he started in the top side, path down, which is a little bit opposite of what we were pointing out just now in pregame.
I'm kind of interested to see, I'm interested that he decided to go that way. This Varus Thresh lane, you don't really expect there to be much kill threat, really, but again, both junglers really wanting to full clear and hit 6 anyway, so they may not look to do anything here early. But one big thing for Hoarder is he's got the phase rush, which actually gives him a little bit more mobility and a way to get away from this Olaf by doing damage. So kind of like that pickup for him. Definitely makes him a little bit safer, but does lose out a little bit on his ability to abuse the Olaf early with his rune choice.
Right, yeah, and if we take a look, it seems like the top laners had already backed a little cheater recall back and forth. It seems like no kills coming through yet, but some lane advantages as mid lane's really poking out that Gragas and bot lane pushes in this wave. It's gonna be interesting to see how they manage the waves with the jungle. It's going to be a lot of focus on the bot side, it seems like, for Return of the Middle Sticks, as Wukong does a second clear down to the bottom side here.
Yeah, I will say one thing for St. Clair that they're kind of missing is range. Xayah is your only range character, but she's pretty short range as far as ADCs go. With the melee of Gragas and Olaf in top and mid, going to be a little rough, but fight here on the bot side.
Yeah, rooted up onto the Thresh. His first blood goes over to Bosk. Not onto the person that you want, but They try to chase down Caspian for a little bit more. Maybe are able to get something as the Q is able to connect in the E. However, he's able to get away as First Blood goes over to St. Clair's.
Yeah, really easy kill there. Couldn't have drawn it much better for St. Clair. Just the 2v2 combo doing so much damage there as Zaya lands that root in. Nowhere for coin flips up to go.
Right, yeah, you get that knock up and it's basically a guaranteed root on that combo. There's a little scuffle in the top lane, but back to lane, the Lilia is in some trouble, able to flash out, and the burn is able to take down Caspian as Matt is able to make a great getaway. And a fight going on in the top side. Exhaust goes down onto Hoarder. Little nice flash is going under turret. And he's able to get a kill, and the Triumph keeps him alive. Ricky with the solo kill in the top lane. That's exactly what we were pointing out, not what we wanted to happen.
Yeah, definitely not. And so far in this early game, 2 quick kills from St. Clair Saints. They're able to pretty much just do it unassisted here. They didn't have any jungle interference, and yeah, both the bot and top off to a strong start for St. Clair.
Right, we're hoping to get some of that jungle action out of Simon after he hits level 6, level 5 right now, as level 6 are starting to get dinged in the solo lanes. We might see some action around this first dragon as Lilia looks like she's going to path towards, down towards it.
I realized I forgot to put the who's on what side, so we got that up now, so it'll be a little bit easier. And I think hopefully that'll be the last stream thing I have to fix, but we will see here. Yeah, 3-0 start here for St. Clair, a 1k gold lead already. And like we said, I'm interested to see how Hoarder recovers. I like the Olaf pickup here. You get the extra move speed on the tabbies and don't take as much damage from the auto attacks. So trying to go defensive here with that extra gold that he got from the kill.
Right, it's going to be interesting to see how itemization plays an effect into this game. It's Max and Bakery Boy do a little trading back and forth. This wave is crashing on the bot lane. It seems like nobody is positioning around an early Drake, so if we were to see a soul, it's going to be later, at least 20 more minutes into the game, as each lane is kind of just ping-ponging back and forth. And junglers are trying to find any opportunities that they can.
Yeah, so far the jungles have been really silent in this game. Really not seeing any ganks, but I am expecting that to change here pretty soon with both of them hitting that level 6 and their key ultimates.
As Boss goes in, able to get the knock up onto Caspian, coin flip, disengages, and it's just a little trade back and forth. We have to watch that Lily on the bot side. She did ding 6, and so we have to watch out for that right there. Hoarder trading back and forth with Ricky. We see a gank coming up. Yeah, Simon's coming up. It looks like he's trying to go in. Oh, and he's able to get away. Ricky is able to get out under the turret. Got free as he's running into the enemy, into Return of the Middlesticks jungle. And it doesn't look like Simon's able to find him. Bosk under turret, taking aggro, taking turret shots, able to get out with the E and the shield. Lily asleep, goes down, not able to find anything.
Yeah, everything turning up here for St. Clair Saints. They're able to find another solo kill onto Hoarder. Oh,
as Caspian goes in, Blouse maybe able to find something. Coin flip, not able to find any of the damage. Blouse hits 6, and Coin has to flash away.
Jeez.
As this is a game of inches in both sides.
RotM just not coming up favorable for them. Yeah, already working out, but RTM onto Herald here. That might be the one thing that they could get back, and a fight going to be started up.
Baker Boy found Simon. Simon trying to get the R, and we have the first move from Hoarder. Ricky not able to do much. Bakery Boy is really low, and they gift the kill over to Max. That's a huge kill for the mid lane.
Yeah, the one bright spot so far for RTM this game, they get the kill and the Rift Herald, so can kind of help offset some of that deficit that they're out to early. That Rift Herald, of course, we want to get down before the 14-minute mark and get some extra gold. I'm interested to see where it's going to be dropped. If we're going to continue to kind of funnel the Syndra that just got the kill, or if we're going to try to use it on Hoarder's lane to get him back in the game.
Yeah, I'd like to see them use it in the mid lane just to open up the map. Maybe they can rotate to dragons easier that way. If Max is able to get some damage down onto the mid turret and they're able to crack it, that'll be huge for Return of the Middle Sticks to try to claw their way back into the game. The gold deficit is actually, it's pretty even, about 500 gold behind for Return of the Middle Sticks while being 3 kills down. So that's attributed to CSing a ton of gold that the Rift Herald gives you as they kind of make up that deficit right there.
You've got some fans in the chat, I see.
Well, what can I say? I'm an advertising
flowers. That's some high praise right there. The interview going well already, so.
Yeah. Some more trading back and forth on Hoarder and Ricky. It seems like Hoarder's not able to really find the damage onto Ricky. That exhaust is actually playing wonders into that matchup. As soon as Ricky finds an angle, he goes in with the exhaust with the ghost, and there's not much that Hoarder can do. As now St. Clair Saints is on to the dragon. It seems like this is going to come up uncontested as Maddie is able to secure the first dragon of the game for St. Clair Saints.
Yeah, 11 minutes in for that first Drake. So, like you said earlier, going to be really late till we see either team really going for that soul, which is going to probably help out RTM a little bit here since they are a little bit behind. Help them out, give them a little more time to get back in this game.
That's right, as a hook lands onto Bosk in the bottom lane. As mid lane, also a cask lands onto Max. He might be solo killed here by Bakery Boy. The ultimate goes out, Max slowed up. As it's a 3v2 in the bot lane, Bosk goes in, able to knock up Coin Flip's up. He's able to get the box down, but not much more. As Blaze is able to pick up that kill, Bakery Boy now in trouble. As an ultimate from Sex Haver Simon knocks him up. One more auto attack will do it, the Flash R. And he's able to almost make it out. He burns down barely. The Triumph was not enough to keep him alive.
Yeah, so
very,
close.
Very close.
That turret shot he did survive on, but I think Minion Auto followed him to finish off the kill. And yeah, a 1-for-1 in that is pretty decent. Looks like
pause.
Yeah, we're gonna have a pause for jungle here.
Well, that is unfortunate, but if we take a look at the game state right now, we have an enormous lead in the top lane, 2 kills to 2 deaths, pretty even CS, so that doesn't really take into account. But what Return of the Middle Sticks does have going for them, they haven't been able to utilize yet, that they need to in the next 2 minutes, is that Rift Herald. If we're taking a look at the game state right now, where do you think that they could place it within the next 2 minutes? I'm still looking at mid lane as they make those plays towards the Scrogus.
Yeah, it's definitely been kind of the one pressure point that RTM has been able to go back to, getting 2 kills on the Gragas early here. And I think Max has been kind of the one bright spot for RTM, picking up that early kill there, able to get a CS lead in his lane, which is really nice. And so we're hoping that that can get RTM back into the game, but only 1,000 gold down, not the worst gold deficit to be at. So definitely a lot of time left.
Right. I also want to see what we're going to do for the next dragon. I want to see if we're able to push out lanes. ROTM is able to get some vision control in the river. And again, that Herald can play into that by opening up and cracking open that mid lane to provide a pressure point for ROTM to play off of to get some of these other objectives. I do want to talk about this Lilia. This Lilia is really, really strong right now. And like you said before, she does really well into their champions if she's able to get the sleep down. So she's going to be looking for those bowling balls. She's going to be looking for those flash engages. She does have flash up right now at this point in the game. So she's going to be looking for those flash engages around those dragon pits. So that's going to be something that our team really has to watch out for, is those Lilia and Rakan engages. Like we were talking about before, that ease of execution is kind of something to really point out. Being in a deficit at this point is not that bad, but when your comp is super duper hard to execute, it might be a little bit tough to kind of claw your way out of it.
Yeah, like we said in the early game, we definitely wanted this Jace to come out with a lead. That's why you pick Jace, right? You want to come out with a lead in lane. He has a lot of pressure, a lot of damage, but hasn't been able to do that so far. Ricky LaFleur has definitely been getting the better of the matchup, finding 2 kills pretty close to Hoarder's Tower, you know, taking a turret shot in there as well. Able to get those kills, and built a lead for himself in the 1v1. So I think the Olaf pickup was really smart there. And so far, Hoarder's counter pick didn't work out too well. Hasn't worked out so well for him.
Right, and we'll have to see. Obviously, we shouldn't get ahead of ourselves, but how that might affect draft in game 2 in this best of 3 series, we will see if they decide to take a different route with the top lane. For the Aegis Challengers League, how does side selection work? Do you know?
Yeah, I think it's just loser selects.
Okay.
So the first game is predetermined by the league, and then after that, it is just loser select side. So
there is the big meme going around that blue side cannot lose and red side is cursed. So maybe that applies to this series, but we'll see. Unlucky that we got red side to start.
Yeah, I mean, I think blue side definitely has a lot of strengths in draft. You've got there's just a lot of picks that are really strong right now. So you have to think about all of that as your red side. I think probably the best thing to do in draft right now is kind of leave some OPs on the table for both teams. Especially because if you leave enough on, we're gonna get back to the game here. But if you leave enough on, you're gonna be able to pick up something good for yourself when that second phase comes around.
That's exactly right, and you get that first pick of flexing, like the Gragas that we were talking about, that we didn't know where he was going until literally the last pick of the draft. As I am currently paused.
I am also stuck. The resume always leaves a second resume that comes back, so it should have just
there
came
we
back
go
for you. Yeah.
Okay. As we see a coin flip actually make his way towards the top lane, trying to relieve some of that pressure, like we were talking about. But this might be a little bit scary as Rakan is also making his way up.
Yeah, this is interesting here. There's going to be quite a fight here in the top lane.
That's right, as the Lantern is maybe going to be taken out. But Bosk is in a perfect position. The knockup lands onto both as Porter goes down, and Ricky does as well. Coin flip, not able to find the hook, as he is surely going to go down to Maddie. Bosk is able to find another knockup. Max is going to have to flash over the wall to get away. Barely able to dodge out on that kill right there. Overall, a 2-for-1 in favor of St. Clair Saints.
Yeah, the one bright spot again, Max able to pick up the shutdown on the Olaf here, but a really, really clever play there from St. Clair Saints. They had Rakan sneak in behind, kind of read the mind of Coinflip Sup running this top lane to try to relieve some of that pressure, and was in a perfect location when ROTM looked to run away from the Lilia.
That's right, and we see that Rift Herald being summoned up mid lane. It might not be able to crash though, as Maddie has come from base, Bosk as well. Seems like they're going to be able to take that down. Unfortunately, no turret plates are able to be got from the Rift Herald.
Yeah, really nice there again from St. Clair, kind of reading RTM. They're thinking in their minds, oh, we got that 14-minute timer, 30 seconds to go here. They haven't placed it. Where's that likely to go? Mid lane, and they read it perfectly, take it down before RTM's able to get anything out of it.
Yeah, as we see Vision just being traded back and forth. One of the reasons why Bosk is able to make that play, if you look in our top jungle, into RTM's top jungle, it's all blue right there. So he's able to go up and around and read that entire play on the way there. Max able to find a stun onto Baker Boy. Baker Boy has to flash away, scared of the damage that Max can produce. And Sex Cyber Simon was in the neighborhood, so.
Yeah, a lot of pressure been put on RTM in this mid lane so far, able to force another flash out. Wouldn't be surprised if RTM's able to convert that into another kill. Maybe a solo kill here as Max goes for it. Oh.
Max gets the R. The Q is not able to land. Very close, but not quite.
It doesn't quite find it. It's going to be able to maybe help them set up for this second Herald, but I think if you're the team that's behind, I don't think you really care about losing the game on a second Herald unless you just have a super big advantage that you can convert, like some flashes or ultimates being down. I don't think it's really worth. And see a fight here.
As the CC immune goes forward, Ricky able to find some axes onto Hoarder. He gets knocked up, and Hoarder, Maddie is on a killing spree. 0, 4, and 2 for Hoarder. That top lane matchup, like we talked about, is turning out to be a disaster for Hoarder.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it in the early game. It's going to be all Jace until that level 6 mark. But Ricky LaFleur able to pick up a kill on that early game, and they've just kept going to him because they know they can win the side lane with the Olaf if he got ahead, and is proving that again here, able to pick up more kills.
Right, as Dragon's about ready to spawn and TP is used by Hoarder in the top lane, he might be able to find a kill back onto Ricky as he runs away. Nothing there. Baker Boy clearing the wave, trying to get some mid-prio. Boss clearing some vision as Sexhaver Simon has started up the Dragon. Maddie is topside, so this should be a free Drake for ROTM, but that returns a free top tower. Bosk might be in a little bit of a position, but he's always able to get out. Rakan, shifty as ever.
Yeah,
as the second Dragon of the game picked up.
I don't really mind the call here from St. Clair to just go for more gold on the map while they've got the lead.
As Bios goes forward, and the EQR, he's just knocked up. Nothing you can do. Caspian taken out, as that was a little bit disrespectful for him to walk into lane that way.
Yeah, that's for sure. The Rakan range maybe catching him off guard there. That's what's scary about the Xayah Rakan combo. Yeah, you can see Xayah, but if Rakan can just come out with that extra range, able to leap to the Xayah, and if you're by yourself, especially as an ADC in that scenario, you're gone.
Crazy strong combo coming out from the bot lane, as they haven't been able to find much Caspian and Coin Flip in the 2v2 and in roaming. So we'll see. Score now 10-3 in favor of St. Clair Saints. 17 minutes into the game, they've expanded that league. We were talking about 500. Now it's expanded up to 4,000. Kind of a comfortable lead for St. Clair Saints at this point in the game.
Yeah, definitely. They've done a great job of kind of slowly snowballing this. It was about a 1,000 gold lead for most of the early game, but here in the last like 5 minutes, they've really opened that up to give themselves quite a bit of breathing room.
As Shirley has popped in the bottom lane, they're just making sure that they zone Caspian off of the bot turret, able to pick up another turret for them. Hook lands from Coin Flip onto Bakery Boy. The R pushes them forward. Max caught out in the bad position, has to flash into the bush. The R gets off. Bakery Boy caught down really low as Boss goes in with the ultimate ability on the Rakan. But it seems like this is going to be all she wrote for ROTM, as they're able to get a ton of stuff. Nice dodge from Blouse on the EQ knockup with his R. Huge swing in favor of St. Clair Saints, as Hoarder can do nothing but clear the wave.
Yeah, and it looks like I think with the comp that they've got, it's gonna be really hard for our team to do anything here. They're just gonna kind of roll over them, and looks like
he might be in trouble. Hoarder it has to go in, but you cannot survive underneath those turrets. They just tower dive him.
Yeah, and there's not a lot of tools for RTM to really get back in the game, because it's hard to force fights. The best things you could probably look for is getting the shutdowns and trying to get small numbers advantages. I think even at this point, 5v4 might be a little out of the question for RTM to turn. But if you can get a 2v1 scenario or catch someone out with like a clutch thresh hook or something, that's kind of how you can get yourself back in the game here. But St. Clair Saints look like they're just rolling.
Yeah, the issue with the Thresh in this game is they have 4 members that you don't really want to hook, and 1 member that has so much self-peel and mobility that it's really hard to get anything really going on them. So again, this is just a really big gold advantage. They're just kind of hitting them with their wallets at this point, as they might be able to find something onto Baker Boy, who has been the sad part about St. Clair Saints. The R is not able to find much. Baker Boy has to flash out as the sleep goes down, as a huge charm and big knockup coming in from Boss. He's doing wonders on this Rakan. Coin Flips up trying to get away, but he's not going to be able to do anything. They gift the kill over to the Lily. A double kill for Maddie.
Yeah. And again, it's just RTM trying desperately to grab something for themselves, but St. Clair rotates first and is able to get it, and oh my goodness.
Yeah, 1 axe lands and there's not much you can do. Max trying to kite under turret, but he's able to just run through. The ghost is huge as our team loses out on both sides of the map. The Baron will be secured by St. Clair Saints, as they might be able to find something back onto Ricky LaFleur. He's caught in between turrets. Hoarder is able to steal the kill for himself. That's actually a big shutdown to get. It might be able to catapult him into some more items and back into this game.
Yeah, nice pickup there. I think he was worried that Caspian may not be able to finish off the Olaf there, but yeah, Ricky LaFleur kind of running things in the side lane here. Anyone that's going to match him is going to have an extremely difficult time. As we kind of saw, one axe lands and you get ghosted on with his R, and what can you do? You can't peel him off you. He's so fed at this point.
Bosk is in a crazy position here. They know that they're in here. Bosk is able to see them come in. Maddie, 8-0 and 3, 700 gold shutdown, 1,000 total on this Lilia. Super big around this dragon fight. I don't think that ROTM can fight this. I think they're going to be pushed out of river. I think they have to give this and just wait another 5 minutes until the next objective to try to fight.
Yeah, I'd really like for RTM to maybe look at grouping like 2 top and trying to get some of these objective bounties. You know that St. Clair is going to be down here for this dragon, so if you can get like a numbers advantage in the side lane, or just have one like someone flank the Syndra for if an Olaf comes to match, that might be a way to like, get back in here. But
I agree, but St. Clair Saints is opting to just go for the mid push, not going to waste their Baron at all, trying to utilize it to its full potential, get as many towers as they can, try to crack open this base, get some super minions flowing in. So not able to find anything. Caspian is down to 1 HP from getting hit from Narnia. I don't even know what he got hit by.
Yeah, Wukong's on the flank here.
He might be able to find something, but Bosk taken down really low, actually. Ooh. Huge cask from Baker Boy, trying to go in. Caspian taking really low as they have to try to back up as much as possible. We still have a flank coming in. Charmed up, Simon is, but they go in on the other side of the fight. Maddie is able to get his Zanyas. That's a 700 gold shutdown. 1,000 over to Hoarder, as they might be able to find Baker Boy here, but the rest of the team is coming. Sexever Simon not able to find anything. Blau's taken really low, but he has all the mobility in the world to try to get out of it. Big hook landing, but Blaus is able to stay alive as it's a 3-for-1 for St. Clair Saints, as now they're cracking open the base. This might just be the end. They still have the Baron minions ticking. Baker Boy trying to get some damage onto the Nexus turret, as 2 inhibitors are taken for St. Clair Saints, and they're going to back up and probably take this dragon on the way out.
Oh yeah, a really nice fight there. I think that's the gold lead doing a lot of the work there. I think RTM actually had a pretty decent engage, was able to get a lot of members low from St. Clair, but wasn't quite able to finish them off with the gold lead that St. Clair has. And now with 2 inhibitors down, really easy here for St. Clair. They could just wait another 2.5 for this next Baron, push that top wave, but I think they can just group as 5, force that down, regardless of the Baron minions or not. So with one lane to go, just gonna group in that top side.
You have to be cognizant that Maddie had used his flash, has no Zanyas for the time being, and he is a integral part of their damage and their engage. So if they're able to find a pick onto Maddie, this is a perfect time to maybe get something going, get back into the game. Of course, Blaus is like one of the biggest damage threats ever. 4-0 and 3, 550 gold bounty, 2 completed items, almost 3. It looks like he's going towards a Bloodthirster. 215 CS, an absolute beast on the Rift. Those are the 2 that you need to watch out for. As Ricky LaFleur might be able to find something onto Coin Flip. He hasn't popped the R yet, as they just kind of dance back and forth. This rally is popped by Bosk as they try to run towards him, threatening. They're pushed back into the base.
Yeah, I really like Ricky LaFleur splitting on mid lane here, trying to put some extra pressure by getting these minions going down in mid lane.
Bakery Boy not able to find anything. Cask only sends Caspian away. Sexever Simon is kind of in the mix real quick, as it seems like they're dancing around the engage. They're thinking about it. Max gets hit by the bowling ball, but the R is not popped from Maddie. Waiting for this next wave. Ricky LaFleur on the bot side, getting caught out by Sexever Simon and Hoarder. He might go down here, but he might just survive. The healing is insane. Hoarder has to flash away. Multiple flashes used, but they're able to take down Ricky. However, the top inhibitor turret is destroyed. Another inhibitor is going down. That's all 3 inhibitors. A big knockup. Coin Flip is not long for this world. He goes down. Max might be the same. He stays alive barely thanks to the shield from Seraph's Embrace. as surely this is going to be the end, as St. Clair Saints is able to push down. Bosk with the flash forward, knock up onto Caspian. He goes down. Sexhaver Simon is trying his best to do anything he can onto Blouse, trying to clear the wave. He goes down as well, as this is going to be an absolute massacre for St. Clair Saints. 24-7, make it 25. Not quite as Max is able to live within the fountain, as they're trying to get him, but it's not going to happen. The Nexus is going to fall, and that's a big first win for St. Clair Saints.
Yeah, a huge win there. Really pretty dominant and really clean. They had a small gold lead in the early game and just never gave it up. Kept expanding it, and a really clean win there. Take every turret, take every inhibitor. 24-7, a nice game 1 victory for St. Clair.
That's right. And a lot of that was off of the pressure that they were able to get from that top lane matchup, like we had pointed out. It was kind of a snowball effect. He had the help of Bosk coming up, and Bosk was all over the map. If I was to sing my praises, if we were to do a player of the game vote on Twitter right now for St. Clair Saints, I would say Bosk actually has my number 1. Ricky is a close number 2, and Maddie is right up there with him. But Bosk, this game, he seemed like he was everywhere, getting all those engages, flash knockups, and making sure his team stayed safe. They had that dive in the bot lane. I feel like Bosk had an amazing game on that recon.
Yeah, definitely found some interesting flanks and kind of read the mind of RTM throughout that. Was able to kind of show up to every play RTM was attempting to make and counteract it. So hats off to them. We're going to take a short break here as we get into game 2, and we'll see you all for draft there.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Aegis Challengers League Return of the Middle Sticks Premier versus St. Clair Saints. We are going to get into draft of game number 2. Return of the Middle Sticks has elected to take blue side after their loss in the first game. So if we're looking at that blue side pickup lane, how do you think that affects the draft? Maybe he has no thoughts about it at all.
Oh, my bad. I was talking, but my mic was muted.
You're good.
Yeah, we're chilling. Yeah, what I was going to say is I think it'll be interesting to see what they prioritize from the draft. I think Xayah is a likely option. Definitely seems like the premier ADC on the patch right now.
Yeah, and in this last draft in game 1, we saw a lot of attention go over towards jungle. On St. Clair Saints side, they banned out that talent that Master Yi, that Sexaver Simon likes. And on the Return of the Middle Sticks side, they banned out that Maokai that's so important right now in competitive play. That Sejuani that's also just a solid rock right there in the jungle, and the Udyr, some more tanky options. But a lot of jungle pressure in the first draft, and we're kind of seeing that mirrored in the second draft.
Wow.
Most of the same bans are coming through.
Yeah, RotM with 3 jungle bans to start us off here. Sejuani, Udyr, J4. I will say for St. Clair, yeah, their jungle definitely did a lot in that last game. So trying to keep them off engaged picks that can play for the team. But, I mean, I don't see a Lilia ban, and that was very effective in the last game. So
I do not either. Lilia was picked in pick phase 2 last game, so maybe they're just saying that it might be a thing that they can ban later. That third ban for St. Clair Saints is a Maokai ban. They put that in the chat, so they have banned Master Yi, Talent, and Maokai. As you called correctly, though, first pick for Return of the Middle Sticks is going to be that Xayah, huge priority on this 80 carry.
Yeah, and what it kind of does is it forces SCC to potentially think about taking this Rakan away. They don't have to necessarily, but to give them that combo is pretty rough. And now you're like, well, can we play something to counter this Rakan? But Lucian is going to be locked in for St. Clair.
You can only assume that they're going to be picking that Nami on 3, because Nami Xayah doesn't really make sense. You can get a prio pick on that Annie that has a huge win rate in solo queue right now. I actually really like this drafting from St. Clair Saints. Get those priority picks, save that support that you can lock in on R3 to lock in that Annie. As you called out, though, the Rakan is going to be the pickup for Return of the Middle Sticks most likely, as they might pick up the mid laner, since presumably Annie's going mid. She could technically go support, but
yeah. I think RTM's gonna probably go jungle here to take another one off the table with so many already gone. 6 jungle bans to start out the game. That talent is a jungle ban just because Sexaver Simon does play it. So I guess RTM's gonna try to get their next best pick with the jungle. And Gragas gonna be locked. So this is a flex pick, and it is a pick away from St. Clair, as we saw Bakery Boy pick that up in mid lane last game. And so could be the same here. Could go anywhere on the top side for RTM.
That's right, and you can only assume that Inami is going to be picked up here. If not, it's going to be banned out for sure. But I really like that call out of maybe picking up a flex and a jungler all in one with that Gragas, because now they're able to pinch even more on the second ban phase. They can get rid of that Lilia that was such a problem last time. They can get rid of another priority engage pick for Maddie, who is coming up huge. But they do elect to lock in the engage Wukong. So that leaves up a Nami ban, and it kind of leaves Lucian out to dry, pending that Annie going mid lane and not support.
Yeah, my guess is it probably is going to end up support, just because I think it's a pretty decent pick into Rakan. You don't get poked out by because you're both short range, and Rakan maybe a little bit shorter. But what is really nice about Annie is if you save that stun for when Rakan uses ultimate, you can stun him and kind of waste some of that time. And it's a point and click stun. can't do anything about it. And you have the ability to, of course, use it on your ultimate as well. So, and Xayah can't really like use her R on that stuff, on the like the Tibbers stun. Very hard to predict. So we're gonna see mid lanes getting banned away from both teams here.
One thing that I do really like so far on Return to the Middle Sticks draft is that ease of execution that we were talking about. This is already much easier than it was last draft.
Yes, definitely is so far. Kind of stealing the comp from St. Clair. They said, we will take blue and we will take your comp as well. So already doing pretty well for themselves in the first phase of the drafts. I'm guessing another mid laner probably going to come out as the last ban here. And that's what's nice about the Gragas here. You know, you get the flex, can play it in multiple lanes, and now you can kind of get a counter pick or have an opportunity to steal one away that you normally wouldn't have playing on blue side.
That's right, and St. Clair Saints has a decision to make here. They can either blind pick the top lane and keep that Annie kind of in flux between the mid lane and the support. Obviously, Return the Middle Sticks banning like that Annie is going support, so they have an inkling that it's going to be going down there towards the bottom lane. A Kali picked up. I think that might be a Kali top.
Yeah, could be top or mid, but we'll see here. And Bel'Veth being hovered for Return of the Middle Sticks.
That would be an interesting pickup. Bel'Veth is a really hyper scaling champion, but you have to have those good early games to kind of get the ball rolling. You really want to target either early kills or an early Rift Herald, but now it switches over to the Jax, which is a big comfort pick for Hoarder. That's his #1 most played in solo queue right now. Very comfortable on that champion, and we'll see if he's going to be able to get some split pushing going last game, kind of like Ricky was able to on the Olaf.
Yeah, and a Rengar hovered here. Definitely fits with the assassin play style of Six Hours Simon. But kind of deciding between the Bel'Veth, between the Rengar. What are we going to do here?
Diego. That's the choice. That's the choice. So that does mean that Gragas is going to be going mid. So that was a great call out on the flex. That Gragas has just been going all over the place in LCS and any of these amateur leagues. It's been such a useful, versatile pick because there's a lot of build paths that you can go as well. You can go tank, you can go a more AP heavy build if you feel like your team needs it. If they need the damage or anything like this, is now St. Clair Saints is going to tell us where everything is going by locking in the Renekton. It should be a Kali mid and Annie support. Very interesting team comp.
Yeah, definitely very interesting. Don't have a big engage tool. Wukong is the best one, but the follow-up on that is kind of difficult. So it's definitely easier to execute for RTM here, something they did not have in last game. But again, pretty short range comp. But I don't think St. Clair really took advantage of that. They're also pretty short range. So I like the RTM draft here. I think it's a lot better than game one. Gives them a lot more avenues if they get behind to come back in the game. And we're going to get into the second draft here pretty soon.
One thing that I do want to point out is I really like the scaling of ROTM compared to St. Clair Saints. St. Clair Saints has more of a mid-game comp. That Lucian really starts popping off in the mid-game. If you had a Nami, it would be even worse with Mandate. That Renekton really falls off after level 11, kind of like we talked about the Olaf. If he doesn't snowball, that's the key, is if they're able to suppress that top lane and able to get that matchup going in the correct direction early. So I'm going to be really interested to see if Sexhaver Simon changes up his pathing. Last game he pathed from top to bot. Then it seemed like it worked out too well. So maybe we're able to put more of an emphasis on this really volatile top lane matchup.
Yeah, Hoarder did not come out ahead last game, and yeah, Renekton's definitely going to want to look to get another early lead. A very similar playstyle to the Olaf, wants to play aggressive, and wants to try to get these early kills. Was able to do that with high efficiency in the last game. But I think the difference here is, even if this Jax does get behind, like Hoarder did in last game, Jax scales. He's got ways back into this game. and should be able to have a lot more efficacy in the late game than Renekton will.
100%. We're looking at that 2-3 item power spike for the Jax to really start running over that side lane. That's when you're going to have to call over the Annie support to roam. That's when you have to call over the Akali from the mid lane or whatever lane that she's assigned to help out on that side lane. So I really do think that Return of the Middlesticks has a much easier composition to execute this time. They have a much easier time getting to those 2-item, 3-item power spikes that they want to get to on these champions, and then playing around objectives that way, instead of getting slapped in the face with an entire big bag full of money like they were last game.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting here as we get into game 2. I'm super excited to see these two comps go at each other, especially with just how well St. Clair played in the first game. I think they have the like slightly harder team to execute on, but they executed better in game 1. We'll have to see if that carries over on their harder comp, but things looked really good in that game 1.
Yeah, of course, it doesn't always come down to draft. It comes down to how you play the draft. So again, St. Clair Saints coming out on top on that. And again, I think it was the rotations. I think that they had great rotations around the map. They played around objectives, not necessarily early, but they played around objectives well. Another thing that is really, really strong with ROTM's comp is if they wanted to rotate that Xayah Rakan up minute 8 for early Rift Herald, that's a very, very good skirmishing duo around the 8-minute mark. They're both level 4. They're able to get knockups. They're able to get roots, and you're able to play around a lot of utility in that top lane. Granted, you have the lane management to be able to rotate at that point in the game.
Yeah, that's for sure. We saw how effective the Rakan roams can be, and even if it's just coin flip sup going up there by himself, it's going to be impactful. I think one thing to note, St. Clair drafting the Lucian into the Rakan, until Rakan gets that level 6, is going to have a hard time getting on the Lucian and hitting that knockup. If you're Lucian, you're saving that E for whenever he dashes in, and then you can dodge it. So for RTM, it's going to be a lot of focus on trying to get kills onto this Annie that's a lot more immobile. And Annie's going to have to play the matchup very, very carefully or save that stun as a way to get themselves out. Yeah,
and so I think that's when ROTM is going to really want to send that Rakan around the map to try to open up other areas. Because, again, that bot lane last game, it didn't seem like they were able to make any headway. They were getting killed in the 2v2. So maybe they make some adjustments here in game 2 to try to open up the rest of the map. Max was a huge factor last game on that Syndra. He was kind of keeping the boat afloat, plugging all the holes, trying to rotate towards top, trying to rotate towards bottom wherever he could, and try to plug the holes of the sinking ship. So maybe coin flip sup is able to rotate to that mid lane, able to open it up a little bit, especially into an Akali matchup that might be a little hard for the Gragas.
Yeah, but what I've always said about Gragas is he is the great neutralizer pick. You can pretty much pick him into anything, especially melee matchups, and he is going to come out of lane pretty even in a very stable state. He's got the belly slam that makes it so hard for most champions to kind of deal with him, try to get on him, try to trade, and at the end of the day, he could just body slam, walk away from any trade that isn't going favorably for him.
That's right. I like to call him Sustained Samuel because he will not go below 50% in lane. His only limiting factor, depending on what starting item you go, is usually mana. Yep. Other than that, his passive makes him an absolute horror to lane against because he's always going to be pretty much 50% plus HP. It's not going to be really susceptible to ganks. It's going to be really hard, again, with that body slam. You body slam, walk away, or you body slam away to gank that mid lane. Kind of same thing with Akali though, right? You have that shroud. It really stops you from getting ganks. It really limits what coin flip sup can do on a roam up to mid lane. You also have that shuriken flip backwards to try to get away from stuff like that. One part that we haven't really talked about though that's really interesting in this matchup is that jungle matchup, the Viego versus the Wukong. We saw the Wukong on ROTM last time, didn't quite get the effectiveness that they wanted to get out of the Wukong in early ganks, and even post 6. So how do you think this matchup in the jungle is going to go? Where do you think they're going to path? And how effective do you think the Wukong is going to be in St. Clair Saints' hands?
Yeah, I think the Wukong is actually really key to St. Clair winning this game. As the primary engager, it's going to want to get ahead in this early game and want to kind of cause disruption, prevent Viego from getting these resets in the fights, and wants to kill him before then. I think actually the Wukong has a decent matchup in here. Again, gets the use of the passive because he's into an AD champion in Viego. But both these teams, or both the champions, have very good skirmish tools, and it'll be interesting to see who's able to get lane advantages to help out their junglers in a relatively even matchup. And we'll have to see also, since we missed last game, where the junglers just decide to path.
Yeah, we got to make sure that we click on the timeline this game, make sure we get you guys going from minute 1. But another thing to talk about with this Viego is Reset City. Resets. That's the name of the game when it comes to these objective fights. If we were able to get one reset, you become an entirely different champion, both in the team fight and literally in game. Yep. It's a crazy champion to have in those team fights where it is really skirmish heavy. If you're able to get one kill, you're able to pop off. It could be an entire game changer around these objective fights.
Yeah, that's for sure. We're gonna be loading onto the Rift here. Hopefully, no pause at the start here. We'll get to catch all of this one. Yeah, that bug's actually tripped me up a couple of times. I think Maris and I were on a cast. I don't know if it was last week, but we had the black screen. Figured it out a little bit sooner than that, but I had forgot that clicking on the timeline resolved it. So.
Yeah, that's the first time I've seen it. Riot Games, of course, as you know, is a small indie company, so they have some bugs to figure out. You know, they have like a development team of like 6 people maybe. So, I mean, it's something to put on the radar, but we should be able to get past it this game. Again, I'm just really excited for this top lane matchup. Last game was so explosive. With Ricky able to find that edge onto Hoarder, I'm hoping that Hoarder is able to bring it back this time, put up a really convincing performance on one of his main champions this season on the Jax.
Yeah, it looks like. Oh, there we go. We got the load in. It went from 0 to 100 there. So, but yeah, I know Hoarder is really one of those lane dominant players, so it's not gonna enjoy what happened to him last game. So I'm excited to see how he turns things around in this game, and expect him to have a little bit better performance in this matchup.
Looking to come back with a vengeance. As we hopefully are able to get in the game, timeline trick is able to work for me finally.
Yes, I got it as well. So I'll just fast forward to the biggest point I can, and we'll go from there.
Awesome. As we load onto the Rift for game number 2 of Return of the Middle Sticks Premier versus St. Clair Saints, we might be able to see an invade going into the bot lane as Max is down here with Caspian and Coin Flip. That bot middle brush is a super important brush to get control over. It allows you to have push in the lane. It allows you to have everything as you see the wards go down for both teams. Really big contest that goes on in that bot lane brush in most games that you see nowadays.
Ooh.
Invade going in. He's on a ward, and he's able to get away barely. Maddie started E, and he wasn't able to get the stop out of the back.
Yeah.
Sexever Simon getting away with murder there.
Yeah, gets the ward down importantly there as well. So it doesn't get punished for that, but very close to disaster there for RTM. Saves it there, and as you remember in the early game, RTM didn't get a lot of game of inches plays there that went their way, and so here in game 2, already seeing a slight difference, is able to slip out.
Yes, that might be good tidings for things to come. But again, this bot lane matchup is also fairly volatile. Annie got that huge buff where she now starts with full stack, so she can start Q that point and click. She's not going to use it yet, as they're able to take down the ward. Bosk trying to get a little bit of poke down. Annie's auto attack range is super long. I think it's 650.
Yeah.
So is going to be able to get in those auto attacks from a long distance here in the bot lane.
Yeah, definitely is. He's gonna just keep holding that stun to kind of just keep the pressure up. It's almost like, oh my goodness, Hoarder with the trade here.
Huge
he's
trade.
not letting him into lane.
Oh, and Ricky is kind of fighting it back, not able to find anything, down to 1 HP. That's a huge thing to do as a top laner as well. If you know somebody else is leashing, is to just cheese them in one of the brushes. I mean, you'll get an auto attack advantage, and then you have a spell as strong as Jax's E level 1. There's no way that you can really lose it. It's super, super good to see that advantage coming out from Hoarder in the top lane.
Yeah, and also gets the XP lead. I think he may have gotten the XP and kept Renekton out of it, but definitely not what you want to see from your Renekton here, who is supposed to have kind of the early advantage in this matchup, because, and this is what we're seeing actually both games. Very funny. The team, the champion that's supposed to have the early advantage has not really gotten that, so both teams kind of flipping their matchups.
Ricky kind of playing with fire right here, going to level up to 2, get the heal off of that Q, and is able to stay in lane a little bit as both junglers started in the top side and are pathing down. It's super volatile up here. I would have liked to see a jungler path top and try to get an early kill in this top lane to start snowballing it, but they're electing the bot lane priority, which, you know, I respect. As a top laner myself, it's obviously weak side kingdom. So.
Yeah, gotta have good mental up there, especially with things not quite going away. But now this Renekton able to heal up a little bit from that early trading, and it's actually going to be pretty even with Hoarder low on mana here.
That's right. A lot of trading. I think a tower shot went actually down onto Hoarder. As Ricky has a ton of sustain with that Q, you get a ton of heal off of minions that you hit, off of champions that you hit on the Renekton. So you're kind of able to stabilize the lane that way. As he goes in, slice and dices, and Hoarder goes forward. He's able to get the first blood as he jumps onto Ricky. Huge swing from what we saw in the first game.
Yeah, and that's huge. Hoarder already is starting things off right for himself, correcting what happened in that last game. But we're going to see a fight on the bot side.
Yeah, Freeze going down. Bosk rooted up, knocked up. As the heal comes out now, he's able to run away, barely flash away, flash forward from Caspian, able to find another one. Blaus might be in trouble as well, as he has to flash and heal away. It's crazy, as Caspian's not able to find him, but huge, big exchange of summoner spells in the bottom lane.
Yeah, I swear I'm having deja vu, but the team names are flipped. Early duo kill on bot lane, and then an early kill on top. That's what St. Clair just did to RotM, and RotM does it back here in game 2.
That's right. Blue side is the blessed side. There's no way that you can lose. That's what they say nowadays. It's Hoarder maybe able to trade back onto Ricky again. Ricky, slice and dice forward, able to get the stun off, slice and dice out. Hoarder, both are getting low, tanking up the minions. Big Q coming in from Ricky as he's able to heal up off of hitting that champion. And you can just see the power of the Renekton, even though he's behind. His boss not able to find anything. Both junglers top. This might turn into a little scuffle. The lane's going to be frozen, dodging out on those auto attacks. But it's really scary now, not able to get the stun off.
Yeah, Ricky blows that flash, and that's going to come. Sexire Salmon's going to come up, but...
Yeah, not quite able to find anything. But with coin flips up here, they're going to be able to turn it back. Ricky, nice sidestep as he dodges out. But without any flash, he's not able to find anything. As that's a huge roam from coin flips up. That's exactly what we were talking about. Opening up the rest of the map on that recon, since you're not able to do too much in the 2v2.
Yeah, Caspian is playing a little bit for that. It's going to be a slow push in the bot lane, so going to have to play safe. But you got Hoarder, or the top side of your map, another kill. Recon actually picks up that for himself, but really nice to be able to find that in a mid gank is going to come down.
Yeah, as he eased forward, nice dodge from Baker Boy. He R's out. That's super good on the angle there from Baker Boy. Great footwork.
Yeah, getting collapsed in on all sides there, and squeezes out Akali. Just such a slippery champion, man. Is able to escape from that gank. And coin flips up, continuing his journey from top lane down to bot here.
Caspian did struggle a little bit on the CS department, but coin flip's able to go in. The root is able to be found, and coin flips up, picks up his second kill of the game onto Bosk, as it seems like this Rakan is going to run this series no matter which team it's on.
Yeah, it's super powerful here in both these games, and another gank in the top lane.
That's right, level 6 coming in from Hoarder. He's able to get that damage down. Huge damage onto Ricky. He's not able to find anything as he goes down. Huge swing in the top side. 5-0 with a 2k gold lead. for ROTM.
Yeah, RTM just under a kill a minute here, really playing much better in this second game. Hoarder out to a couple turret plates and a couple kill lead. The bounties coming out. And that's a nice way back into the game for St. Clair Saints. The gold difference isn't going to matter quite too much, but we're going to look for maybe those key levels, those level 6s that are going to be popping up around the map to get some of that gold back for St. Clair.
That's right. And as they made that play onto the top side, St. Clair Saints starts the dragon. They're going to be able to pick up this first dragon of the game, but coin flip is there. He's able to get the knockup. Baker Boy is knocked out of his shroud, has to flash away. Remember, no R, is able to E back to the safety of his turret. Coin flip is all over the map here, forcing out summoner spells and ultimate abilities.
Yeah, he is making a huge impact in this game already, but might be walking into a trap here.
Yeah, Maddie able to read it really well. Bosk is able to get the stun off. Heal goes through for Caspian. He's able to stay alive barely, but a dive might come through. They have a wave stack and Caspian might be in trouble as teammates come down to help. Now it might be Maddie who actually found himself in trouble. He's going to be able to W over the wall and get out of there. But the bot lane might be into trouble. Bosk might find another death as he has nothing to get out. 0-3-0 on the support. And ROTM's just moving around the map so much better.
Yeah, and it's really interesting to talk about like how St. Clair decided to draft. They picked that Annie pick knowing that Rakan was on the table and that ROTM was definitely going to pick it with the Xayah already in pocket. So to see the 3 deaths come out from that Annie, this is what we talked about. You want to put all your fighting into this Annie pick that has no real way of escaping except for having that stun up. So nice to see RTM take advantage of that in this early game.
That's right, as we get a little bit more trading back and forth. The ultimate is popped from Ricky. They want to go in. The ultimate is also popped from Hoarder as he's able to find maybe a kill, but he has got everybody else coming up to him. Hoarder is surely going to go down, maybe able to find a kill, a flash kill onto Ricky as they trade 1-for-1 as 3 people came top lane for that.
Yeah, but notably, that roam does net them a shutdown. So even though you're going to get another kill, which is probably the best case scenario for Hoarder in that situation, gives the shutdown over to the Wukong, and that's going to be a nice pickup.
Yeah, that Wukong can affect the rest of the map as they start up the Rift Herald with that rotation. This is kind of that 8-minute, 9-minute Rift Herald that I was talking about that I was hoping that Coin Flip was able to come up for. Rift Herald getting low as they keep dancing around. We're going to have a little bit of a dance moment, but watch Sexhaver Simon as he is level 6. Huge damage from Max as Maddie's able to pick up the Herald, is able to get away as well with the movement speed from the ultimate ability. Coin Flip sup, flashes in, not able to find a knockup. And Sexhaver Simon is able to get the reset as he moves forward. Bosk not able to find anything else. Stunned up, ignited up, and overall it's 1-for-1 trade, or 1-for-0 trade actually, but they pick up the Rift Herald.
Yeah, and I think in the end there, as long as this Rift Herald does end up getting some plates, it's going to be about neutral in gold. So nice, but definitely some summoners used in that exchange for both teams. But Hoarder is just going to work on Ricky LaFleur in this game.
Yeah, really good slice and dice out from Ricky LaFleur to dodge that stun, as he has to just dance around the really fed Jax here. Again, that matchup's only going to get harder as Jax gets those items and as Ricky kind of falls off in this laning phase. That level 11, it might not be able to stay in the lane alone. Even right now at level 8 to level 7, it's a little tough.
Yeah, very scary. Hoarder might be even able to take some dives as I say that.
Yeah, trying to dive. That R comes through, big damage. The heal comes through from Ricky, though, from his R and his Q, so he's able to survive as Hoarder has to bounce out.
Yeah, definitely putting down a ton of pressure on this Renekton, though. Not making it comfortable at all for him up there.
Yeah, we can see if these junglers get a little bit more involved in these kind of sedimentary lanes like this bot lane. It's been pretty quiet for Caspian and Blaus as I caster curse it. We go in, and Coin Flip Sub is able to get the charm onto both of them, knock up onto Blaus as they're able to kite away, not able to find anything. Sexhaver Simon's here for fun. As a TP comes through from Ricky. That's a big summoner spell. Kind of wasted there before the 14-minute mark.
Yeah, and the wave, notably on top side, if you direct your eyes to the minimap, is pushing away from him, so he's going to lose out on more minions and trying to protect the bot lane there. I totally understand, especially since you're already so far behind. Want to try to help out another lane, but nothing comes out of it. Ricky's gonna make his way back up to this top lane, and with that wave shoving into order, it's gonna be very scary for him.
He was able to steal the cannon minion XP from his mid laner, so it was a worth TP in my books. Hoarder now zoning him off of his own turret, but there's a ton of wards up here. Hoarder's found out. Ricky trying to make it back. 2-level lead for Hoarder. Wave is really bad, you're right. The E blocks the stun from Hoarder. It's tough up here in the top lane. It's really hard.
Hoarder could just hold this wave forever. They're gonna need a jungle up there, but with the dragon spawning, you're either gonna choose, can I get Renekton something on this top wave, or can I look to help my team at the jungle? And it looks like St. Clair's gonna fight around the jungle here.
Right, Hoarder does have TP if he needs to come down for this fight. Max might be in trouble as he's surely going to go down. A lot of ultimates used. That stun coming through, as you were talking about, onto Coin Flip, but he's able to find a root onto Maddie. I'm trying to look for resets here onto the Viego. He's able to get into the body of the Wukong. Hoarder on the top side is going for a solo kill under turret again onto Ricky, and Ricky goes down. Under turret, just a clean tower dive from Hoarder as fights are happening all over the map on both sides.
Yeah, and I think both teams not really able to do the reset they need here, but
Fnatic Deathbush not able to find anything. Coin Flip sub go in, and he goes golden to stay alive, and he's able to find the reset as the heal comes through, and Coin Flip sub lives. That Sexever Simon is able to get that reset again. My goodness.
Hoarder just letting this cannon die. Oh my god, everything turning out for RTM in this game too. After such a rough first game, they've been playing this really well, but
Sexever Simon might be into a little bit of trouble here. No R to get out, as Bakery Boy is able to pick up that kill. Dragon's still up. This Hoarder guy is really trying hard, letting the entire minion wave die to turret, put Ricky even further behind. He might even fight Ricky on 400 HP, walking up, gets stunned, is playing with fire. My goodness. But he might turn around. He has enough mana for E and a couple Ws. As he E's forwards. Really good spacing from Ricky. This is just a game of inches. Ricky, he's not going to come back in time. Slice and Dice not able to find anything. Hoarder is playing with fire, but you know he's not getting burned.
Yeah. Everything going well for him in that lane. Able to take down the full tower for himself. Already on his mythic item, and yeah, has a really big like full item lead on this Renekton. And that side lane is going to just be so hard to deal with.
Caspian going forward. I do not want to alarm you, but ROTM has about a 5,000 gold lead. Hoarder has a 3,000 gold lead himself onto Ricky. This guy is rolling in cash.
Yeah, 5,000. Yeah, he's got over half of ROTM's gold lead. That's just crazy in this side lane. This Renekton's going to be pretty worthless, except as a stun bot for a while here. So just is doing a good job here. I think he's actually kind of freezing and slow pushing that wave in the top side. But yeah, St. Clair's going to be a man down for quite a while here. So the one thing they do have going for them is they have done really good job of getting objectives even from behind. They've gotten the dragon for them, 2 dragons for themselves, and the Rift Herald. So RTM's gonna have to start taking the fight to those objectives before they're able to stack too many drakes, and that could be a way back into the game for St. Clair. Is if they're able to sneak maybe one more dragon and then look to have a soul, that could be their ticket back.
Yeah, I want to see Hoarder transition this lead either into other lanes or have everybody else come up and play around him. As we're kind of seeing here, Caspian's left on an island. Hoarder going under turret, as Bosk was actually waiting in Fog of War, waiting for that dive. Really good call out. Bosk has been kind of on the rotations in this entire series. He's been doing really well with that.
Yeah, and the big thing is Hoarder, you're not going to get too much done killing this Renekton over and over. He's not going to be worth very much gold. He's got 5 deaths already. I think he's probably worth around that 140 gold mark, but you can get these turrets and objectives to get yourself more gold, but you'd like to see him maybe start to group up around these objectives as they come up and help his team around there.
Yeah, we see St. Clair Saints coming towards his top side. One thing that you cannot do when you have a lead like this is become overzealous and play out of your bounds. So they have 3 in the top side right now. Not going to make a play onto Hoarder, but while that was happening, while they were pressuring the tier 2 turret, Sexhaver Simon was able to pick up the second Rift Herald of the game. So maybe they can use that to open up that mid lane or open up a side lane here to try to get a stop to that dragon stacking.
Yeah, solos it himself there. And ooh, fighting
Ricky
the top
taking
side.
a lot of damage. Hoarder has to pop the R, has to pop the ward hop to get out. Maddie might be in trouble here. He's able to E away or W away. I apologize.
Yeah. Hoarder just barely getting out again on low mana, but gives RTM a little bit of time on the map here. I'm wondering if they'll elect to maybe drop this Herald bot or while there's 3 members of St. Clair top.
Yeah, when you pull this many people to the side lane, you hope that the rest of your team can get something done on the other side. As now Sexhaver Simon seems to be going down to the bot lane, pings are going down to the bot lane. It seems like they're going to be dropping the Herald down there to break the bot lane outer turret, which I think is the right call. Maybe he's just going for an invade. As Bosk is knocked up again for like the 14th time this game, the Annie not able to get much done here.
Yeah. But the Rakan R comes out from coin flip. I think he charged in, saw Maddie was there, and he's like, oh, never mind, I'll just jump out. But yeah, they might have a small window here without that engage tool for RTM to do something, but should be up by the time Drake is around.
Yeah, Baker Boy might be in trouble trying to 1v1 Hoarder, who has that entire lead like we were talking about. Maybe this is actually, I actually really like this, where this is going now for ROTM. They're going to save this Herald to drop it, to apply pressure in the side lane so that they can move into the river and take Dragon scot-free. I think that's what they're planning on doing with this Herald now. They waited long enough where that's the case. So I actually really like this patience coming out from them. Maddie looking for something. Caspian might be in trouble, but he's just clearing the wave.
Yep, and here is kind of the point where RTM needs to start grouping up and transitioning this lead that Hoarder has built for himself in the side lane into the rest of the map. This Dragon coming up here in just 10 seconds.
Mid lane is opponent contention. Caspian is able to dodge out on the Annie R as coin flip goes in, is able to get a ton of charms. Nobody's going low yet though. ROTM fighting, having to kite back now as ultimates come out. Baker Boy's looking to go in. Caspian has to flash and heal away as they kite back. That's a huge shutdown from Hoarder, as that's their entire lead. I don't think they can fight this Dragon anymore.
No, I don't think they can. And now St. Clair is going to put themselves on Soul Point potentially, but that Rift Herald is going to be summoned up the mid lane. I don't think RTM to defend this one.
Yeah, like you were talking about, that TP coming in, but once you lose Hoarder, you lose your entire gold lead pretty much. So once he goes down in that team fight, it's a little bit hard. You have to have that set up beforehand in those river fights to really catch them off guard. You can't let them push through mid. You can't let them engage through mid like they just did.
Yeah, and I don't know if RTM really wants to fight this. They don't have their ultimates available.
Max goes in, takes a ton of damage. The R comes out from Baker Boy. He's kind of wreaking havoc. Huge damage. Baker Boy is 1v4, but he finally goes down. Ricky now able to get in there, get a stun off as Sexhaver Simon finally goes down as well. Actually, no, Sexhaver Simon is the one that's still alive. He's able to kind of slice and dice, get around. The R is not able to find the kill onto Bosk. That was so close, but no dice, as ROTM has kind of fumbled this gold lead a little bit.
Yeah, and that's huge there. Almost every member of RTM had a shutdown, and now all those shutdowns have been taken there. And that's going to be a big way back into this game. Hoarder does not care
Hoarder playing the ignore game, trying to get that turret down. Maddie is low. Remember, no R. He might have to flash away. He does. Ricky, go forward. Holy crap, flash as Hoarder goes down again, but it's flashy. It's flashy.
Yeah, trades the 1-for-1 there. Does get the turret in the process. Doesn't have a shutdown to give over, so definitely not as bad as it would have been earlier, but yeah, St. Clair showing their resiliency here. Still down 4K, but now, as we talked about, was able to find a kind of miracle fight and pick up that dragon for themselves. Now they're on Soul Point, 4 minutes away here. This is if they get the Ocean Soul, that's worth about 3 or 4K in gold. So
Look at Ricky, 0-3-0 to 4-5-2 with a shutdown. It's completely flipped on its head, this matchup in the top lane.
Yeah, he may not be too happy about that shutdown, the way that Riot decided he deserves that. If he's in that side lane against Hoarder, Hoarder is going to be very happy to look at the shutdown and collect it himself. But RTM grouping up around this Baron here, and there's
maybe able to find
no
a pick.
TP. Yeah.
Maybe able to find a pick onto Baker Boy as he has to run away. He does have that shuriken flip backwards. He might be able to get out with the R, charm up. He has the R2, waiting in the shroud, trying to find an angle out, able to walk into the bush. R2 out, great maneuvering from Baker Boy. This guy is playing footsie with these people. He's just running around circles around him.
Yeah, and we've seen this not work out for our team a couple times here, but mid lane.
Oh, Bosk is in trouble. The support, the anti-support goes down yet again.
Yeah, Andy has been having a really rough game. Bosk on the Andy pick. It's just so immobile, and that pick is going to be RTM starting up the Drake. There's no TP, notably, on Rookie LaFleur, so he's going to have to walk all the way up here.
Yeah, coin flip might be into some trouble. Baker Boy trying to find something, but no R means no kill. As they're able to pick up the Baron, huge pickup actually. As that kind of extends the gold lead even more for ROTM. Maybe they're able to do something with this. We're looking at tier 2 turrets across the board, except for a 1 HP tier 1 in the bottom lane.
Yeah, and I like that from St. Clair there, kind of recognizing, hey, our support got picked. We're not going to be able to contest this. We're not fast enough without Ricky being here. So let's just get ourselves something in the mid lane.
Yeah, Max trying to fish something on the way out. As Maddie goes in, Max might be caught out now. Maddie pushed towards the blue team. Caspian, he is here with damage. Maddie has nothing else as he goes down. Ricky is also caught out. And there's the shutdown we were talking about. Coin flip trying to go forward along with Sexhaver Simon. See if they can find any more. That's 2 big pickups when you have Baron.
Yeah, Renekton for sure deserved a shutdown there. So, again, very unhappy that he picks that up, but is going to be able to... it gives that over to RTM, and RTM with the picks there, it's going to be able to just march down this mid lane.
Yes, they have the wave there. They're at least going to be able to pick up this inhibitor turret, surely, as Blouse and Bosk both cannot step up. If they get engaged on, they get one shot. Now, they can elect to go for the inhibitor turret, but the enemy team is spawning, so Maddie up and Ricky up means that they are going to back away from the inhibitor turret, make a play towards this outer, and maybe inner bot turret.
Yeah, Hoarder split pushing on the bottom here. I like that RTM decides to back up there. They know they're going to be in a number disadvantage as the players for St. Clair died. Let's back up, let's get some vision, and get set for this all-important Soul Dragon fight.
Yeah, this is huge. For what I want to see from setup is I want to see that mid lane push, I want to see that bot lane push, and I want to see you choke out any vision in the river so that they have to face check you. That way you can get an engage with that Rakan, kind of like they're doing now, but we need to get those waves in. We need to get those waves in.
Yeah, they do have the Baron buff, which will help them get that mid push. There's still 30 seconds here till this Drake, so they have a lot of time to push that out, but Hoarder is fighting the mid lane.
Yeah, Baker Boy stunned up in the Shroud. Hoarder not able to find him as Boss comes up. Shrelia popped. Hoarder stunned up. A lot of damage coming in, but nothing so far as Baker Boy has to R out. Bosk might be in trouble now as he's getting chased down by Caspian. Maddie deciding not to go in. He has that ultimate ability available. Hoarder not able to find anything onto the clone. Coin flip just tanking the culling from the Lucian. As here, now we can finally start getting some vision control. Maybe we were able to choke him out. TP coming in from Ricky. Actually, no, that was Baker Boy's TP. Ricky's on the bot side of the map. Ricky, they're not checking that bush. They're not checking that bush. Caspian might get one shot, or Ricky might get one shot. One of the two. Ricky flashes out. Baker Boy's able to go in. Caspian with the R to stay alive for a little bit. Bosk with 1 HP. Flash forward from Hoarder as he's still alive. Able to get the stun onto Ricky as Sexhaver Simon just destroys and rips through the backfield for St. Clair's. ROTM coming out huge in that dragon fight.
Yeah, that was a super big fight, and now with the Soul acquired there, they're gonna St. Clair's gonna have to wait another 5 minutes to get their opportunity to kind of get back in this game. But yeah, that fight looked pretty good. I think Ricky put himself in a great spot there, was able to catch out the Xayah and get that kill. But the rest of the gold lead for RTM just kind of did the work in that fight. Was able to overcome a lot of what St. Clair was throwing at them and find the kills in the end.
Yeah, I think that was one of the best fights that St. Clair's could have gotten with that flank from Ricky. They just weren't quite able to find the engage. Sexaver Simon was able to get into that backline and get those resets like we talked about, as now it's a little scuffle between him and Maddie, and he's able to find the kill, get a reset. Boss might be in trouble now too. That Wukong is strong. The R, but the stun comes through. Boss goes down. Sexaver Simon is having a field day with these resets, as now he might be able to get a stun off on Annie.
Yeah,
but you have to build it up still.
That should be in the inhib, but a TP behind here from Ricky?
They should know that it might be happening.
Oh, he's cutting
They'll
the
see him on the wave. He's going to cut the wave.
Yeah, he wants to make sure that RTM can't end, so.
But now he might be in trouble. Creep blocked, and he's surely going to go down. I don't know if it's worth, but he does save the game from ending right there, potentially.
Yeah, RTM with him down. He is kind of definitely the strongest or second strongest member for St. Clair, so it's going to be a key piece here, but
they might try to engage onto Max as he might be caught out, but coin flip with a huge knock up in, and Hoarder's able to get a kill onto Bosk as he's able to rip through the backline. Maddie goes down as well. Baker Boy might not be long for this world unless he has some fancy footwork yet again. He's able to get out right now, but Sexaver Simon's able to crush him, and only Blouse is still alive. Gonna have to try to defend this 1v5. It's not gonna happen. Hoarder's gonna jump forward, able to get a stun off. A knock up, huge, and Blouse goes down as ROTM comes out swinging game number 2. Ricky add another death to the counter as ROTM answers back. St. Clair Academy with a game win on number 2.
Yeah, almost an exact flip of game 1. ROTM gets out to the early lead, gets the Xayah Rakan, and that's kind of been the story. I think this Rakan has been a menace for both teams, whoever's been able to pick them. Game 3, we're going to go to here pretty quickly. It's going to be super interesting to see who elects to go what side. I guess that St. Clair is going to go for blue. So we're going to take a short break here as we get set for game 3. See you all in a few.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to game number 3 between Middle Sticks Premier and St. Clair Saints. St. Clair Saints has elected blue side, which has been the only winning side in this matchup so far. 1-1. The winner of this game takes the entire series. Again, this is a cross-group game in the Aegis Challengers League. So it holds importance, of course, but not as much as those in-group games. But you'd love to come out of this with a win.
You definitely want to come out with a win, especially giving you some confidence going into NACL tomorrow. Both teams really want this. And the blue side pickup, not surprising at all for St. Clair. I have a feeling we might see a Xayah or Rakan ban. Actually, we already see it. Third here for St. Clair.
Yeah, we decided to move away from the 6 jungle bans and include 180 carry. St. Clair Saints still sticking to that mastery, that Talon, but banning away Caspian's Xayah as they first pick the Gragas, which has been huge in this series between these two teams.
Yeah, the ability to flex that wherever is really, really nice. It makes you have to think about it consistently, and it's always great to have a flex pick on that blue side. As we talked about before, being able to kind of get a pseudo counter pick when you really shouldn't have one on the blue side. RotM hovering the Rakan.
I was gonna say that Rakan pickup would have made me question a little direction and where they were going with their draft, but that Talia early pickup, assuming that it's into the Gragas, I think that's actually a really good pickup. It kind of limits his mobility, and Talia is a very comfortable champion for Max.
Yeah, and it's been banned away in that second phase, and Rakan hovered here, and with 1 second, I assume it's gonna be locked in. Yeah, I'm kind of not surprised to see it get picked up without the Xayah. It's been really impactful in both series, especially with the early roams that both supports were able to put down in their respective game wins. So I'm excited to see RTM pick it up here again, give you that engage, give you the ability to make plays, and we'll have to see what St. Clair answers with. 1 second, the Nautilus.
Nautilus is kind of an interesting matchup into the Rakan. You can lock down the Rakan a little bit, but that guy is so slippery. He can eat at teammates, he can W away. It's really hard to lock him down, so they might just be choosing Nautilus as a power pick with an 80 carry that engages alongside with it, such as a diver like Kaisa. Samir is also a really strong champion right now, but I also wouldn't be too crazy if they pick like a Lucian with it or something like that. But a Victor pickup, which means that the Gragas is getting flexed either to jungle or to top lane.
Yeah, they still have a flex, so they don't lose out on that. But seeing the Talia means that they can get whatever they pick they want. Victor, you know, he's gonna be there. He's gonna scale, and that's kind of how I feel about Victor when I see him locked in. It kind of feels like the handshake champ. Like, I'm gonna be here in the late game, and I will make sure my team has some damage. But the Wukong gonna be locked in, last pick here for RTM, and that means they can continue chomping down on this jungle pool.
Actually, I'm getting word just now from Hoarder that the Wu is actually a Viego pick.
Okay.
So a Viego lock-in, which Sexhaver Simon did really well on last game. He was able to get those resets like we talked about. He was able to really pop off. So I'm happy to see him back on that pick. Yeah, you're right. More of that jungle is going to be pinched here from ROTM. I really, really like the Rakan pickup, like you were saying, because of those roaming potentials. But we're gonna have to see which 80 carries they pick. It's not very often in draft that you see an 80 carry, let alone both 80 carries getting delegated to the second round of picks.
Yeah, it's usually picked up in that first round because there's a lot of stuff that are like higher prio in that ADC pool, and also the counter matchup doesn't matter quite as much. The support counter matchup matters quite a bit, but Kaisa going to be banned out, of course, pairing well with that Nautilus and with the Gragas. You've got CC that you can use to go in on. RTM insta-locks the Olaf.
I like the two bans from St. Clair's Saints pointing out that Jackson Renekton matchup. I like that. But now it's
oh boy,
Order's turn to have that Olaf. As we get a Yasuo, however, that Yasuo Gragas.
Oh man, I would love to see this.
Pickup.
I just want to see it so bad, just because I think it's so interesting. And this may go bot lane. This could go bot lane.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
You're so right.
Yeah, it's gonna pair with that Nautilus. But you know, RTM does have some good tools to deal with that. Olaf can't get hit by the CC. Talia gonna be able to throw those rocks down and kind of stun this Yasuo away from doing things. So we'll have to see what the ADC answer is for RTM. Varus falling all the way through here. Wait, is this gonna be a Yasuo top?
It's a Yasuo top lane.
Oh my!
Look at that.
This got so much more spicy than I thought it was gonna get. St. Clair coming out with a really spicy draft. I don't know how it's gonna do into that Olaf. You can block the first axe, which is huge for Olaf, with the wind wall. But I think post 6, it's gonna be hard for Yasuo to kind of deal with them.
That's
RTM,
right.
the Ezreal.
We've had banger after banger, and now a third banger in the top lane. It's just been nonstop fighting up there. It's been so much fun to watch. And this game is no different. Again, I want to see how exactly these junglers play around the top side, because while we have had these really volatile top lanes, it doesn't seem like they've been given too much attention from the junglers, especially on that first clear. They've been playing more towards that 6, and when the support is able to unlock and roam up to the top lane. So we'll see how it plays out this game.
Yeah, the Rakan has been making a lot of trips up the top lane for whoever team it on. I don't expect that it'll be any different in this game. The top lane is going to be the focus, and I think somebody is going to come out ahead with a lead. I just don't know who yet.
We'll see how they play it. Again, this draft is really interesting. We haven't talked much about the Ezreal, but I feel like Caspian and Blast are just going to be on an island yet again, just kind of trading those waves back and forth, as the rest of the map has a lot of fun with those skirmishes, such as the life of an AD carry with roaming supports.
Yeah, for sure. And I think the Ezreal pickup is pretty nice into the Nautilus for the lane, which I don't expect there to be a lot of laning between the two. But you can buffer that hook. You can get away from some of the engage of the Gragas barrel and get yourself to a safe location for any Nautilus ults that come your way. So I think it was a nice pickup there. It's definitely just going to be sitting bot lane, trying to pick up farm, while you expect Rakan to be roaming to this top lane to get this Olaf absolutely rolling.
Now, I don't know how much they're going to interact, but one big thing to point out as well is that Yasuo's wind wall is the ultimate counter for Ezreal. It blocks every single thing that Ezreal can do. There's no really playing around it unless you have some crazy position. So in team fights as an Ezreal, you really need to watch out for that wind wall, play around it, as well as watch out for all those knockups that are flying around, whether it's going to be Nautilus or whether it's Gragas Cask. You have to E away from those before they hit you. Otherwise, you might just be CC'd to death, because then you can get the gravity well from the Victor right on top of your head as the Yasuo's R'ing you. So you have to be really careful as this Ezreal, but luckily he has enough range to try to play around that in some of these fights.
Yeah, I think the big story here is going to be how well can St. Clair execute this Yasuo Gragas combo. If the Yasuo gets behind, it's going to fall off pretty hard. They do have some late game insurance with the Victor, which is always nice to have in your back pocket, and a lot of ways to support this Yasuo with the Nautilus and the Gragas pickups. So just do not want to get behind early against this Olaf.
Right, and that's kind of been something we've seen. It's been a lot of skirmish heavy early. It goes one way, it goes the other. One big thing about Victor is you cannot let him have those stacks early, right? If you get those stacks early, you get those upgraded E's, you get those upgraded Q's, and then you cannot really contest his push, which means he gets the first move on even more of those skirmishes, and then you really get a snowball effect going as he's able to influence the map outside of mid lane if he's able to get some of those points early into his passive.
Yeah, and we saw how effective that was for Grossmax last week. put up almost a 1400 DPM game on Victor, was super impactful when he got some early kills. So RTM wants to make sure that that doesn't happen to them here with that Victor pick, and they're going to definitely look to put a lot of emphasis on this top lane.
Yeah, it's going to be the point of contention. We'll see who's able to roam around first. Of course, Taliyah, once she's able to unlock that 6, that ultimate ability to get that Weaver's Wall all the way up to the top lane or to the bot lane, wherever she decides to roam. It's a really impactful tool. So that's another thing that ROTM has going for them when we're talking about that side lane pressure. This Olaf, I'm excited to see. It looks like, unless are they in the correct order? It's not Viego top, is it?
I don't think it's gonna be. I can't see from the spectate view who's got what, but my guess is they are flipped. I think it's gonna be Olaf top and Viego jungle.
Okay, I assumed as much, but that Viego, like we were talking about before, is able to get those resets. This is a really good game to get resets on because they have so much utility in their in St. Clair Saints picks, right? If you're able to get a reset onto that Nautilus, you get a kill first. You're able to get that pick that they would have been able to get with the Nautilus in the first place on your team. So it's great to have that utility. You're able to get that gravity well down. You're able to get the Gragas E off. The Yasuo, you can slash through everybody if you'd want to. That wind wall, of course, is huge as well. So I'm really excited to see how this Viego functions in these team fights. If he's able to get those resets, like we talked about last game, then it's kind of game over. So I think on St. Clair Saints side, one of the main characters that you need to focus first is not necessarily the Taliyah or the Ezreal. It's actually the Viego.
Yeah, you definitely do not want him getting resets. And we saw it was pretty impactful last game. Was able to get some resets and find some extra kills because he was able to follow up off of the reset shutdowns. But like you were talking to a little bit earlier, this Taliyah is going to have the prio over Victor. Is going to be able to shove him out, especially in the early game. And if RTM can kind of leverage that to link up with the jungle and go to other lanes and impact them, I think that is a ticket that RTM can use in the early game here to start getting some leads in their side lanes.
Yeah, another thing that I'd really like to see is I'd like to see this Olaf scout out vision early onto the Gragas. You know, Simon should be able to get some vision onto Maddie, and then you can really tell where he's pathing, whether top lane needs to be really careful with that ultimate duo between the Gragas and the Yasuo. I mean, even the ultimate from the Gragas coming into the bot lane, it might be a little bit hard to get away from, but you have so much mobility with the Ezreal and Rakan. It shouldn't be. This game is just going to be an absolute brawl in the top side of the map. I'm telling you that right now. It's going to be so much fun.
Yeah, and I think what's important here, I think in the 1v1, Ricky is quite a bit weaker, but if he can survive Deathless till 6, and Gragas can get up there, he might be able to use that combo to catch Hoarder off guard and get some extra kills and start snowballing for himself. So I think ideally for Ricky, you're wanting to come out with no deaths or a kill, and if you can do that, you're going to be in a decent spot to kind of fight in this mid game.
That's going to be a hard task when you're going up against Hoarder, who is notoriously hyper aggressive. This guy has no button but a forward button, right? So he's full pedal to the metal all the time, which is going to be interesting to see. Like I said before, I really want to see those junglers do maybe like a level 3 clear up to the top side, because for the past 2 games, we've seen both of those top laners 300 HP or lower by the time it's level 3. So maybe they're able to influence it, get that snowball really rolling down the hill, as we actually get into the game right away this time.
Super nice. No black screen here either. Well, stream's getting a little bit, but that's just because of takes a second for it to catch up. I'm gonna go fast forward here, and this has been the smoothest into game that we've gotten, which is nice. So
yeah, we might see if we get a contest into that bottom lane brush again, but it seems like it's kind of just a regular 5-point spread. guarding against invade, making sure that nobody does anything too fancy. It was a heart attack last game as Sexaver Simon almost got caught out within the first minute, but defensive wards are going to be placed down to try to track any invades or any jungle movement early.
Yeah, it seems like St. Clair was also confused about the LCS order there being a little bit different. But they're going to check runes here, see if there's anything that they would have done differently. And if that's the case, I think they can choose to remake, but it looks like things going okay here to start.
Porter has disconnected from the game. We apologize for the pause. We might have to remake this lobby.
Yeah, we'll see. It's up to SEC if they want to make the remake based off rune choices, since we were in LCS order. But
right, if you see those runes and you see who you're facing against, you obviously want to change those. Hoarder's now reconnected, which is good. Yeah, and if we take a look at runes, actually, we see that Bakery Boy has opted for the Airy instead of the First Strike, going for that more pokey build, trying to get you know, the shield increase as well on his Q. But First Strike provides a lot of utility as well. I'm surprised that he didn't opt to go for that. I guess in some of these team fights, you're not really going to get the first hit. You're going to be engaged on by the Rakan. You're going to be engaged on by Hoarder, by Sexaver Simon. As Blas has actually gone for that Hail of Blades Varus, like we talked about before. You get the 1, 2, 3 auto attacks, and then you're able to pop the W, pop the Q, get that big pop of damage out. And everything else kind of seems pretty standard in terms of runes. So it should be a pretty fun game and just a battle of skill here.
Yeah, and it's really interesting. I think in this game, both supports, when they've been on engaged champs that can roam, have done a great job. St. Clair did a great job in game 1 on the Rakan, and then Coin Flips Up, not to be outdone, does it in game 2. Now they're both on engaged champs, and I'm super interested to see how both those are utilized in this early game to get advantages for their teams. As junglers are going to start on opposite sides of the map, and we get That's the pause. So wait through that.
Notably, Maddie is starting on the bot side of the map this time, which means that he will be pathing towards top. Nice little trade there in the mid lane. As a hook lands onto from Bosk as Quinn flips up, trades a knockup back.
Yeah, not going to be much. The Nautilus hook level 1, unless you have really aggressive ADC, usually doesn't mean very much. And oftentimes, especially if you're into an enchanter or something, means that you'll lose the trade. So they're pretty even, but something to be cautious of in your own games.
Also notably, Caspian has taken exhaust. So no heal in this bot lane for ROTM, but you do have that exhaust for that Yasuo if he gets on you. Which I think is actually a pretty good pickup. As, like we were talking about, Yasuo ding level 2. Hoarder might be in trouble. He's trying to hit level 2 as well. He's able to get it. That W popped. A lot of healing coming through. The axe misses, though. Ricky with a nice Keyblade. Able to flash, but Hoarder is able to kind of kite away with the Ghost. Ricky trying to slice and dice through all the minions. Able to get a knockup as the Sexaver Simon, but the first blood comes through. Big 3-camp clear from Sexaver Simon. That's what I'm talking about with these junglers affecting this really snowbally top lane. That was amazing.
Yeah, and it's really smart there because he can take that gank freely, even without the trading being as heavy as it would have been level 1, because he knows Gragas is going to be pathing up. So he knows his blue buff is going to be safe, unless the Gragas just makes an insane read to go to that blue. So it's going to be able to not be punished for this bot side, but Hoarder, without the TP, is going to lose quite a bit of minions here.
Yeah, you see that jungle pressure from Maddie up there in the top lane. Hoarder having to back up all the way to his tier 2 turret just to recall. Kind of getting punished there, but that 1 assist might swing. Max able to find a knockback and a stun onto Bakery Boy. But nothing so far in the mid lane. However, Maddie is hovering.
Yeah. Max without really any mana here. It's going to be very cautious, but does have the TP to get back into lane here, so might elect to use it here.
Maddie walking back to the top lane. Hoarder very low, didn't heal all the way up in base. He's 2 levels down onto Ricky, trying to get back to the turret. He's not going to find anything. Hoarder is going to go down in between his turrets. You hate to see that.
Yeah, St. Clair plays it so well there. That's Hoarder just getting punished for the level 1. I love that they don't panic. They're like, well, we didn't get the kill, but Hoarder now down 3 levels already. And Yasuo just able to get a plate for himself as well on top of this kill. So even though that early kill went down for Ricky, St. Clair playing that super well.
Coin flips up, trying to get that wave in, make sure it doesn't freeze, but Bosk is able to deter him off of that, and they're able to get a little freeze here in the bottom lane as first backs are starting to come through across the board. Yeah, 27 CS to 13 in the top lane so far. Hoarder's going to be able to pick up some of this, but it might be tough here for a little bit.
Yeah, he's definitely going to need somebody to roam top here to kind of bail him out while he gets this catch-up XP and play in a safe spot. Because if Gragas comes up again, it's pretty scary.
Like he is right now. Yeah. Sexheimer, Simon, and Maddie fighting out in the river. They might just go on to Maddie. Hoarder getting in trouble as Ricky is able to get another knock-up off. Hoarder is going to go down. The W pop shield, not enough. Ricky is going forward, and Sexheimer Simon's in trouble. Ricky and Maddie, the 2v2 in the top lane is just going the way of St. Clair Kate. Oh, Lord have mercy.
No worries. Yeah, I'm a little baffled after seeing those plays too. Such a good
I'm at a loss for words.
Yeah, so really well played, and that's what we talked about. This top lane matchup matters absolutely the most, and that's why we're seeing so much time from both teams. Really well played there. I think RTM maybe could have looked for something if they'd waited a little bit longer. Oh no.
Max might be in trouble. The ultimate ability from Bakery Boy comes down. Turret shot's not going to do anything to him. That's a solo kill in the mid lane. All across the board, it seems like Return of the Middle Sticks has caught the curse of the red side.
Yeah, blue side has definitely had the advantage in these games, and that's not to say it's just on that. I mean, St. Clair has played so well in this early game, finding the kills in top side, and that's mostly due to Ricky. Like Ricky started this all off, had a great level 1 to 2 trade up there, and was able to basically force RTM to respond.
His coin flips up, is trying to find the gank onto his lane. The flash from Bloss, and that's just a kill, just like that. Oh man, that's not what you like to see. Now all 3 lanes are losing in their own right.
Yeah, everything falling apart here for RTM. Already a 3k gold lead, and Hoarder, he's just in a rough spot here. Wave pushing out. Never want to see that against Yasuo, but Max is going to come up here to try to bail him out.
Yeah, and that Weaver's wall comes down. You might be able to find a stun onto Ricky, but he's able to dodge back from the knockback. Oh, he leveled up, got the R. It is shutdown, goes over to Hoarder, barely living and surviving that engage.
Yeah, that's really big to see for RTM's chances here. Blow the flash in mid lane. Maddie gonna pick up this farm top.
Yeah, you need that shutdown onto Hoarder to even be able to do anything. Notably, though, he's still only level 5, as level 7s are starting to even come through for solo lanes. So, still very far behind. Coin flips up, might be caught out, but he's able to E away onto Sexheimer Simon as he's there to pick up the wave. Nothing going on in mid lane, and we have the support, the 80 carries. I almost called them supports because they're just chilling bot lane.
Yeah, they are definitely just chilling in this bot side while everything is happening around them.
First Dragon available on the board, as well as the Rift Herald, as Maddie starts up the Rift Herald here at 8 minutes.
Yeah, definitely what St. Clair wants, for sure. They want to be able to funnel more gold in to this Yasuo, so it makes a lot of sense that they want to play this.
As we get a scuffle in the mid lane, ultimate goes down from Bakery Boy as they kind of chug each other both out to about 30% HP. I think Bakery Boy getting the best of that situation, but now we have a Phonetic Death Brush. Bloss, remember, has no flash. He used it earlier, and Sexheimer Simon's able to get the reset. Nothing else though, but that's a really good kill to get back onto the bot side.
Yeah, really nice gank there from RTM, and they've slowly kind of gotten themselves some clutch kills, but
Oh, and the flash over the wall. Nice flash away from Max, but he gets hit by the cask, and he's going to go down. But Maddie barely survives.
Yeah, but really RTM might be able to find him on the backside here. They're trying to chase him down before he's able to get the recall, but he's got the empowered recall from the Herald pickup, so he's going to be able to get out safely.
Shelly doing wonders and getting that escape to go off. Maddie able to influence a lot of these lanes so far. That mid lane gank, these couple of top lane ganks, he's really been around the map and getting these successful ganks off. But that's not to say that Simon hasn't either. He got that successful gank off bot. He's been around top to try to help out, but this top lane seems unsalvageable at this point.
Yeah, and it's kind of interesting. I think it would have been really cool if Hoarder kind of matched what Ricky LaFleur did in that first game. And instead of going the flash, going for that exhaust, being able to exhaust this Yasuo and an all-in, maybe could have saved him in some of these early skirmishes and helped him build the lead.
But on the bottom half of the map, RotM is able to pick up the first dragon of the game. Hoarder getting poked out underneath his turret. Ricky able to kind of juggle the turret aggro there really well.
Yeah, Ricky's doing a really good job here.
Hoarder just has to pick up anything he can at this point.
Yeah, he is just waiting very patiently for someone to come to his lane. And that's not to say that it can't be flipped here, but he's going to need some help to be able to flip this matchup back to what it can be.
That's right, and it only really gets worse now that Maddie has ding 6. You get that combo. If the cask lands onto you and you don't R it right away, you're going to get knocked up. You're going to get chased down, kind of like this. Hoarder pops the W, is able to get a shield. Ricky not able to find anything else besides the R.
And you have to feel this gank coming if you're Hoarder. You're so low.
And it seems like he doesn't, but the flash away keeps him alive for now.
He's not going to be able to pick up this wave. I think him staying under here, yeah, he's just going to get dove.
Yeah, Ricky looking for a knock-up is going to be able to find it right away. CC immune, but it's not going to do much. Ricky flashes away. Cass goes down for fun, but the Rift Herald is going to be spawned here, and they're going to get this entire turret.
Yeah, RTM might try to say something about this in top side here.
But Bosk is the gatekeeper there. Max, big charm, double knockup, 3 charm from coin flip as the engage is kind of going the way of RotM. Sexheimer Simon is able to get the reset, but the Victor is now here and so much damage coming through from the ultimate ability from that Chaos Storm. And it turns out to be a top turret for St. Clair Saints and a 1-for-1.
Yeah, but if you count the kill that they get on Hoarder, they also get the 2-for-1. So you get a big advantage there for St. Clair, able to knock all those turret plates down. And a nice follow from Bakery Boy, what looked like a pretty decent play for RTM. And also that gold goes on to coin flips up with the ignite, but Hoarder.
As Hoarder is in trouble again, no. The belly bop is only a conduit for Ricky to ult it, and he goes down just like that. Not a good look for Hoarder as he gets caught out in the mid lane.
Yeah. And that has been the tale of the game so far, just picking on Hoarder constantly, and Ricky is just having himself a game.
They might be able to find a pick onto him as he dashes out. Sexheimer Simon is able to find the stun. Ricky slicing and dicing, dodging all their abilities. Knockup goes through, but remember he has no R, as he's able to use the chickens, and Sexheimer Simon's able to get that shutdown, which is really, really good. Yeah,
RTM is able to kind of get some of these picks on the backside of some of these fights. Maybe do a little bit to the over-aggression, but...
oh, Simon going in. That's just not what you want to see. He did not expect 3 there as the corrupted chains land onto Max. Coin flip is going to have to sacrifice himself to save his mid laner.
Or does he?
Maddie looking, and it's a double kill for Bloss.
Yeah, St. Clair just running over RTM here. Now up to a 6K gold lead. They can pretty much have anything they want here as long as they're grouped, and RTM is having a rough time finding a way back.
Caspian is sitting in the corner twiddling his thumbs, hoping that the house doesn't burn all the way down around him, but now they might be looking to a play on him, so he might not be out of the weeds.
Yeah.
As anywhere this Yasuo goes, Maddie seems to follow to try to provide a knockup.
Yeah, I was just going to say, if you see a Yasuo on your map, you can be damn sure that Maddie is somewhere nearby as things have gone in this early game.
Taking a stock of things, 13 minutes, 12 kills to 5, 6K, 6.7K gold lead as Bakery Boy is fighting Hoarder, but Hoarder is able to get some stuff down onto Bakery Boy, very close. The flash away from Bakery Boy is able to secure him the kill onto Hoarder. That's another one in the death box for Hoarder.
Yeah, very close there. Doesn't have the ghost or flash to get onto him after the flash is burned, but does end up burning that flash for Victor. Yeah, it's been a rough game for Hoarder here. He's trying to find his way back, but I think for RTM here, I'm kind of surprised there's no objective bounties on the map with the gold lead the way it is.
Yeah, that's right. Games coding at its finest, as the Dragon's going to be spawning here soon. But it seems like Hoarder's kind of embracing that Korea playstyle where you just fight, fight, fight until you're able to get something back. Bosk able to find out coin flips up. He's able to get away as the cask over the wall is huge. Sexhover Simon's also going to go down as he's in the middle of 4 of them. Oh, a nice dodge from Hoarder on the corrupted chains, but Bosk is able to find the hook onto Caspian. Moving forward, that arrow is huge. Double kill coming in from Bloss as he's running over them. Maddie flashes forward and able to find the belly bop onto Caspian, and the exhaust just isn't enough. Max able to barely get out alive, living on 1 HP.
Yeah, Maddie playing that so well there, is able to find every skill shot he needed to. And RTM just can't contest, can't walk up for any objective. There's just nothing for them to do on the map here.
The bounties now have come online for ROTM, but they're going to lose this dragon. They're going to lose these waves to the turrets as well. It's a tough way to get back into this. If you were to say how to get back into a game with a 10K gold deficit at 15 minutes, I mean, I can't even fathom how you can start.
Yeah, I think it starts for RTM trying to find, try to hunt these shutdowns, whether that's objectives, whether that's getting kills on some of these easier pickable targets. I think the Varus shutdown or the Victor shutdown is where you could maybe start. You just don't really want to see Yasuo or Maddie on the map. So trying to set up vision so that you can kind of go for some of these picks and not be too scared is going to be the name of the game. But other than that, trying to get push out these side lanes while the objectives are kind of distractions for St. Clair, and try to get some of this gold back onto your carries.
Yeah, and notably, Bakery Boy does not have flash, at least for this next fight. If they were to fight this Herald, but it looks like they're just going to give it up. Herald 2 going over. Definitely don't need to die for a second Herald or anything like that. But this could open up mid lane even more for the Saints as they're starting to group up here. At 16 minutes, it might just become an ARAM here.
Yeah, I wonder if this could potentially go all the way to inhib. RTM's not really in a great spot to kind of defend this, and it's really hard to stop a Herald spawn at here, but RTM's going to try for it.
Really good flank. Blouse flashes away from the engage from Coin Flip as the corrupted change finds Simon. Coin Flip goes down instantly. Max trying to find anything at all onto Maddie, but Maddie's too tanky. Caspian is zoned away by the Chaos Storm. Rosk's hook goes wide as a CC immune. Oh, he's able to actually find a kill, but it's huge for St. Clair Saints as it's a 1 for 4, and they might even look for an end here. I don't think the death timers are going to be too low. They're at least able to get an inhib. They might go forward onto a Nexus turret, as the only person who's up right now is Coin Flip, Sup. They're at least going to get 1 Nexus turret. They might go for a second. Coin Flip, Sup is up. Sexhover Simon. Oh, they're calling GG in the chat. They're actually letting them in. 17 minutes in, and an almost perfect game from St. Clair Saints. I just lost my mind casting this game. It was, I'm speechless at the end. A huge win from St. Clair Saints as they go up 2-1 to win the series versus Return of the Middle Sticks Premier.
Yeah, St. Clair played that series really, really nicely, especially in this last game, winning it 17 minutes, almost unheard of, especially at this level. And yeah, hats off to them. Came out with a great draft strategy in this game 3 and executed it to perfection. Ricky LaFleur definitely played super well in the early game, and then Maddie came in and made sure Hoarder had a very bad night. So hats off to them. And look forward to seeing how they perform this weekend.
That's right. We have For Return of the Middle Sticks premiere, we do have the NACL Open Qualifier 2 that's starting this weekend. It is Saturday and Sunday, and you said it was noon Central Time. Was that right?
Yep, noon Central, 1 Eastern. So
noon Central Time. So tune into those tomorrow and the day after. I think we're going to be signing off here. Make sure if you haven't, make sure you follow the stream down below. Middle Sticks is a great organization. Thank you so much for having me on the cast. It was absolutely wonderful to come on in this kind of guest appearance and really tell the story of this team as they move forward in the organization. So
yeah, thanks so much for coming out and playing pitch hitter as Marisomatic was with us tonight. So really appreciate you, Kyler, and yeah, thanks to everyone for coming out tonight. As I look for someone to host here, I don't know if looks like Aegis is still on, so I'm gonna send you guys over there. Everybody have a great night, and of course, come back this weekend to cheer on the team as they compete in NACL.
See you, everyone.
All right, stream off.
Sweet, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, thanks so much, man.
I was bumbling. I don't know why I couldn't get St. Clair Saints name out.
It's fine. It doesn't matter.
I couldn't get their name out. But no, that was a really fun series to cast.
Yeah, thanks so much for casting. I really appreciate it. And yeah, I'll add you to the caster chat. Maris has been looking for someone to do play-by-play for when he can't make it. So if you are happy to fill in some, he'd definitely appreciate it. You did a great job.
For sure, Dan. Yeah, it's been a while since I've like casted anything, so I think the second game was probably my best one, and that was a lot of fun. That was a really fun game.
Yeah, it was a fun series to cast, and yeah,
wish we could have came away with the win, but
it's all right. I mean, I have a good time regardless. So
yeah, the top lane ran it just a little bit that game.
Yeah,
I mean, like, no lane won, but
yeah, it was like kind of.
I
think they did a great job. That like second gank was just it was game over. When he comes back to lane and with minions on the tower there.
If your waves pushing away in the top lane after a gank and they like TP back in your solo that you can't do anything, then it's like I'd rather not have a gank at that point. Like I'd rather have not gotten a kill.
Yeah, it definitely sucks, but yeah, it was it's good. I know the guys were gonna use it as a practice game tonight anyway to kind of figure out more picks with their new jungle. So
yeah, I like the Viego.
Yeah,
I think that was looking pretty good.
For sure. And he was going the crit build, which was interesting, since that got buffed.
Oh, cool. I didn't even notice that.
Yeah. At least in game 2, it looked good. But anyway, yeah, thanks so much for casting, and yeah, I really appreciate it. It was a lot of fun to cast with you.
Yep, no problem. Anytime you need somebody and I'm free, I'm definitely down. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, we'll definitely send some pings your way this season. So.
All right, sweet. All right, have fun. Good luck this season. It's super exciting to see you guys in that.
Yeah, league, so. I'm so pumped. It's been a lot of work. I've been like planning it since like December, so it's been a lot of fun.
Cool.
All right, sweet. Have a good night.
Yep, you as well. Bye.